Good start. I've got my foot fast. Let's get this light sorted out. That's a bit better. Well, I've got a very slow internet that's misbehaving. Hi, Chris. So if we get through this evening without any hiccups, it's going to be a good one, isn't it? Yeah. Took me ages to even log on. Yeah. But we will press forward and hope for the best. Yeah. Hi, Lydia. I've got me cable needle, got me knitting, got me wool, got me pen, have I? Have I got my pen? Yes, I've got my pen. I can't find my row counter, so I'm having to do the old-fashioned way, which is writing it all down. It's not raining, Esther. It's not raining. Hi, Lydia. Hi, Amanda. Amanda, were you the one who left me a message? Because I've lost it. Hello, Squirrel Raid. Hello, Yarn Bath. Somebody left me a message, and I've lost it. So I don't know whether it was you, Amanda, or not. I had a feeling that somebody called Amanda. But it may not be you. Oh, this is a good start. I've got Yarn Bath already. I don't mean you, Yarn Bath. I mean, I've got Yarn Bath. Yeah. It wasn't you, Amanda, right? Well, whoever it is, I hope they... You know, when you see a message, well, I wasn't well at the time, and I saw a message, and I meant to reply to it, but I thought I'll reply to it tomorrow, and I can't find the message. Whether I've accidentally deleted it, I don't know. Yeah. I just hope the lady didn't think I was ignoring her, you know. That's the trouble. You can't, like, retrieve things if you accidentally deleted them, can you? I'm sure she sent me a message wanting to be a friend, and yet I can't find it. That's why I thought it might have been you, Amanda, because I could have sworn she was called Amanda. But I thought she was called Amanda Jane, so maybe that's, yeah. Anyway, maybe she will watch one of my videos. Oh, hi, Juanita. Maybe she will watch one of my videos and realise what I've done, that I've not ignored her, I've just lost her message. Oh, the wonders of the internet. Hello, Katie. I'll apologise in advance because the internet is a bit what's it tonight. So if I start going slow and freezing and whatever, you'll know that it's kind of not me, it's the internet. You want to know what I'm making that. I would have loved to have made it again in Lyra, but I didn't have any in my shed. And as I'm on a no-buy, try to use what you've got mood at the minute, I'm using what I've already got, which is that. It's sort of like a jade green, turquoise green, whatever you want to call it. If it works out, though, I might get tempted into buying some lilac. Because you know me, lilac and purple. Yeah. It's a pattern I made when I was a teenager, actually. And I always loved it. And you know how things go. You lose patterns, don't you, as you go along the line. And I happened to see it on Etsy, and it was the real McCoy. It wasn't a PDF. She had the actual pattern for sale. So I snaffled it up, PDQ, and I started it because, as you know, I'm off my crocheting, or crocheting, yeah. And, oh, I know, some people think they're worth a fortune. When you think I sold a load of my vintage patterns, not this one, sold a load of my vintage patterns, you know, for 99 pence on eBay before I left, you know, my other house, yeah. And they were the real, you know, grey Peyton's patterns, and now you see them like £10 or something stupid. And I sold all mine for 99 pence. Still, it was 99p, wasn't it, that you got in your pocket, yeah. So I'm feeling a bit better, folks, anyway, you'd be glad to know. And the sick bay upstairs seems to be improving. $22 shipping. It's only a piece of paper, for heaven's sake. It's like a slip or something that doesn't even weigh 1/4 of an ounce. You know, it's not like they're heavy, is it? Like a pattern book or something like that. I could understand it if it was a hardback book because they do weigh heavy. I mean, I sold one of my hardback books and somebody in the US asked me would I send it to them. I said I would. I said, but you're just not going to like the shipping. You know, it's not that I'm being mean. It's just, you know, at the moment, it's like you feel embarrassed asking people for the price to the shipping. But it's something that you can't control. If you've ever been in the post office lately, you'll know. It's not like anybody that's selling things is making a profit on the postage because they're not. They're just charging you what the post office is charging you. And also at the moment, the situation over here, we've got so many strikes and there's so much postage that's just like kind of jammed up somewhere. Oh, yeah. I just bought a magazine recently. I don't usually buy crochet magazines, but I did. And within a day, some of the patterns had found their way onto eBay. People must have bought the magazine and chopped it up already. Cut pages out of it. I suppose with the cost of the magazines these days being a tenner, you know, £10, maybe people are trying to recoup a bit of the cost back by selling a few of the patterns they don't want, you know. But I don't think it's actually illegal doing that. It's just illegal if you photocopy them, I think, isn't it? Evening, Julie. I don't think it's, well, I might be wrong, but I don't know. I've never done it, so I don't know. If I've sold a magazine, I've sold the whole magazine, if you're with me. I don't just sell parts of it. I'm always dreadfully afraid of the copyright police, you know. They're a bit mustard over here. I don't know whether they are in America, but they are over here. They're a bit keen. But I tell you, if they went on eBay and they went on Etsy, they'd find a load of people they could find. Not me. Evening, Nathan. Hello there. Come and join the gang. I'm apologising in advance, people, you know, if I go off because my internet's a bit dodgy tonight. I can, yeah, my internet's playing up. It was like taking me ages to actually log on to it, and then it was slowly moving, yeah. So I thought, oh, we're in for a good night tonight, you know. You know, every night's a interesting night on the internet. So if you want to know what I'm doing down here, I'm knitting. Yes, I know it's got a knot in the middle, but it was a knot in the wool. Hi, Rick. How you doing? Ooh, hello. The minute I go on the either in YouTube Live or I record, somebody always sends me a message. And yet I can be sitting here all on my own here. And nobody cares, if you know what I mean. I never get a message. Oh, I found the missing wedding photographs. It wasn't the wedding photographs I was bothered about. It was all the others that were with them. They got found. Hey, so glad. It was all my old school photographs and photographs of the people who came to my wedding, which were my relatives. Because I've made a private Facebook page for my part of my family, yeah. Because we're scattered all over the world, and it just seemed daft me keeping photographs that belong to other people, if you know what I mean. So I'm trying to reunite people with photographs of their parents, grandparents in some cases, because like my mum's generation's all passed away now, and sadly about half of mine has, yeah. So I'm trying to reunite photos before they all get, you know, lost in the midst of time, yeah. I've done one row. You can't see it very much, but it's all cables. One row is done. I can't find my row counter, so I'm having to resort to the old-fashioned pen and bit of paper. You had a leak in the apartment. We used to have a leak on my bay window at one time, and no matter who came out to it, they couldn't find it, and it was only when the wind blew in a certain direction. Oh, right. Hang on a minute. Oh, it's a message from Tracy. Yeah. Oh, she's saying she rarely does lives anymore. That's Tracy, as in Crochet Rocks. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know me. I couldn't make a video game if my life depended on it, Rick. It's all right for you young uns. But I can't do video games. You know, the old photos. Yeah, I can't do video games or out like that. It's not windy here, touching wood. Not windy here at the minute, yeah. As I was saying, we had this leak that only appeared on the bay window when it rained very hard. And we had several roofers come out to it and say, oh, we've cured it, we've cured it. And then it had rained very hard and it had happened again. But it was only when it was torrential rain and it was blowing in a certain direction. Anyway, eventually I thought, I had enough of this. So I had the flat roof taken off and I had a slope put on. Oh, you're talking things I don't understand, Rick. I know you do, and I know you're full of good ideas, and I thank you for your thoughts. But you're talking to somebody that's absolutely computer dumb, you know? You're talking to your granny here. Anyway, I was saying we had the roof done and they put a slope on it, and it never leaked again after that. So, who on earth would want my likeness anyway, splattered all over the place? It's bad enough me doing a live, isn't it? Yeah. Bad enough. You know, I don't look too bad on here, but when I do my others, I don't think it's the light that shines one way on me. I look like a wrinkly old hag. I know I am one, but I look worse than a wrinkly old hag on my other videos. And I'm thinking, oh, get me out. I need to get a pink light or something that might flatter me a bit, yeah. Happy New Year, Chris. Yeah, it's very difficult to find leaks, Lydia. It is, honestly. You know, you have to sort of put blotting paper somewhere along to see if you know what blotting paper is. That's showing me age. You know, to see if you can find out where the wet's coming in. Yeah. You know, put tissues or something, you know, where you think it might be coming in, and then you can pinpoint exactly where it's happening. And then if it is coming through the window frame, you could perhaps put a bit of silicone or something if you can't get new windows or get new things done. You know, let's face it, this day and age, everything costs a bomb, doesn't it? I went out to my shed yesterday to get some wool or yarn, as if you're in America. And I was only out there 5 minutes. I went to get my knitting needles and my wool. Oh, hello. Hello, Rosie. Hello, Mrs. You come to join everybody. She's gone. Oh, we don't have any bugs. We might get the odd fly, but we did have a mouse, if you remember. But the mouse has gone now. No, landlords never are, Lydia. They never are. Not that I've ever had one, but my friends have. And I know what a pain it is to get them to do even the smallest job. Keen to take your rent money, aren't they? But they're not keen to do any repairs. As I say, I've not had that situation. I've never had a landlord. And my mum's never had a landlord. Well, if we did when I was little, I don't know, yeah. Oh, stink bug. We don't have them over here, thank goodness. But the mere thought of a stink bug makes me go, no, no, thank you. Yeah, I don't like creepy crawlers of any description. Not keen. I think I'd have to fumigate the place if I had stink bugs and bugs and... Oh, I know somebody that, I don't know them personally, somebody who was on here that was in the US, moved into an apartment and she had bed bugs. They must have been left over from the other person who had the apartment. Ugh, thought of bed bugs there, Lila. It's not good, is it? Oh, I can remember in the good old days when I was a kiddie, lots of people used to get fleas, and they used to what they call stove. In other words, they used to seal all the house up, and they used to fumigate. They used to take the furniture out. They used to fumigate the house, fumigate all the furniture, give the people in the house, if they didn't have bathrooms, tickets to like go to the, well, they used to call them the slipper baths for some reason. I don't know what a slipper bath, but they used to go to the baths where they had, I don't mean the swimming baths, I mean baths. And in the good old days, you see, when people didn't have a bathroom, they used to go and pay about sixpence or a shilling or something and go to the swimming baths. But in the swimming baths, there was also places where they had ordinary baths, and they used to fill them up. And you used to go in those and get, a wash, scrub. But, to get rid of any, if you had anything. Thankfully, we always had a tin bath, My mother always made sure we were clean, yeah. But in some places where they were living like loads of people to a house, they didn't have access to, running hot water and things like that. So they used to go to what they call the slipper baths. And why they call them the slipper baths, I really do not know. Because you're certainly not washing your slippers in it, yeah? You're washing your body, yeah? My dad had to go one time, I don't know why. When he was young, I mean. But my dad never likes very hot water. So you were on like a timer, you only got allowed so long, you couldn't like wallow in the water forever. And the water was too hot for him. So he said he just about got in the water to get his bath when they were calling time for him to get out of it, if you know what I mean. My dad liked his bath water very, very lukewarm. Very, very lukewarm. Sometimes, I know it sounds gross, but we're talking in the times where you didn't have hot water, you had to heat the water for the bath. My mum would have a bath and she'd say, "Do you want to get in it, John, after me?" And he's put his toe in, he's like, "Oh, how the heck have you sat in there and had a bath? It's way too hot." And my mother used to say, "Oh, get in it, it's not that hot." "No, I need cold water, I need cold water. I can't get in it here." He couldn't do with anything too hot, my dad. She used to hand him his dinner on a plate and he'd be with his plate, trying not to drop his dinner. And she used to say, "What's wrong with you?" And he said, "The plate's hot, the plate's hot." And then she'd give me mine and I'd just get hold of it. Walk away and he'd go, "You're just like your mother, you asbestos hands." I've got very, very cold hands all the time, very cold hands. Even in the summer. It can be the heat of summer, and if I put my hands on you, you'd jump. I have really cold hands. But still. The Isle of Manchester's wearing off my cup. It's worn off the other side, near enough, look. Yeah, I believe mice don't like steel wool. They're also not supposed to like, is it lavender? When we had that mouse, people gave me lots of tips, but, I think the dogs scared the mouse off because it disappeared. And we've never seen it since, touching wood. We saw it 3 times and then it vanished. We got a load of traps and, yeah. Yeah, they don't like certain things, certain smells. I think it's lavender they don't like. It's just too bad if you don't like lavender. Hello, Sheila. Hello. Welcome in. Yeah, mice are terrible when you get them. Beggars to get rid of. I know when I was a teenager growing up and we where we lived, the wool shop, they were pulling down a cotton mill behind us. And all the mice that were living in this cotton mill must have decided to come in our shop. My mum was going mad. She used to get what she called a mouse rash. It was nerves, really. And she used to be always on at me dad. I always remember my brother brought a very posh girlfriend home one time, very posh, for tea. And this little mouse ran across and went into the kitchen. So my dad, like, nonchalantly, not said a word, just picked up my brother's cricket bat and walked into the kitchen and shut the door. And all we could hear was this whack, 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 whack in the kitchen. And we're all trying to pretend nothing's happening, like, this new girlfriend that we'd never met before. We're trying to put the airs and graces on, how you do, trying to let her think that we're from a sane family. And eventually, my dad caught this little mouse, and it was about yay big, a tiny little thing. And she started laughing, and she goes, "Oh, we've got mice at home, don't worry about it." Oh, East is East, that's one of my favourite films of all time, that. I absolutely love it. I don't think people in America would get it at all, but it's one of my favourites. I've actually got it on a DVD, I think, but I haven't got a DVD player at the moment. I think I might be able to play it on my PC, but I've never tried. My son's actually got a spare DVD player somewhere or other, and he said, "Did I want him to put it on my TV?" And I said at the time, "No, don't bother. Put it on the TV, like that's in the conservatory or something." It's not in Urdu, don't worry. East is East. It is quite the opposite of being Urdu. It's an English mother with a Pakistani father. And he's trying to keep them like Pakistani, and she's bringing them up English, if you know what I mean. So there's a conflict within the family. I haven't watched West is West. I've only watched East is East. But as I say, it's one of my favourite films of all time. It's kind of so true of most Pakistani families that I know. They've been over here so long, they're very westernised. Bit that makes me smile is when they're cooking bacon and they've got to look out for their dad coming down, and they're spraying air freshener everywhere and putting the bacon outside. Yeah. Have I seen Home Sweet Home? No, I haven't. No. Why, is it good? Oh, East is a masterpiece. I'm surprised I think it was because of the subject matter it never took off, People weren't quite as multicultural back when it was made. Yeah. 1982 was it? Yeah. I don't think the world was ready for East is East at the time. It should have been a blockbuster. It really should have. When you see some of the rubbish, I nearly said something rude then. That, I love it. I do love it. It's dated. It's very, very dated now, but I still love it. I mean, some of the rubbish that they put on the TV and stuff these days, honest to God, it's rubbish. Absolute pure rubbish. I'm not into all this, shooting and all that violence, and I'm certainly not into vampires and stuff like that. I can understand it if people are, it's just that I'm not. I can't think of any film at the minute, except that, what she call Mrs. Something's Dress or something, where she thinks she can go to Paris and just buy a Dior dress. That's one of the only ones I'd like to watch, I think. And maybe Belfast. Oh, an orb just went by. Maybe Belfast. If that ever comes on the telly. I don't. Cinema to me is so expensive these days. Emily in Paris, is that the one? Yeah. I think I might want to go and watch that. But only if it comes on the telly. I'm tight. I refuse to pay however many pounds it is to go to the cinema. Plus, you've got to get there and get back again, haven't you? Then you've got your snacks that cost a fortune. Unless you take a bag of sweeties in with you, which, just to get an ice cream is about £3, isn't it, or more? I know the last time I went to the cinema, I'm going back, whenever ago, I was absolutely, gobsmacked at the price of, the toffees and whatever. I don't have Netflix. I'm not paying for Netflix, Nathan. I'm tight. I just have Freeview. That's all I have. So unless it comes on the ordinary telly. I used to pay for Sky, and I refuse to pay for Sky anymore because I found I wasn't really watching it. So it was £42 a month. I think it's more than that now. And I could do with £42. I could do with other things with that, yeah. And before you said buy wool, no. No. I'm saving up because, A, I want to go on holiday this coming year. And B, I'm toying with either a laptop or, what do they call them? Notebook? No, what did you call them? Tablet. Toying with the idea of getting one of those. But only thinking about it at the moment. Ding. So, yeah, my niece is it's going to be about March, but my niece is going to take me back to Prestwich for a week. And from Prestwich, we can go to Manchester, we can go to Bury, we can go all over the places that I've missed. I'm saving up my pennies so I can get some stuff in Manchester. They've got clothes shops there, proper clothes shops and shoe shops. It's crap round here. I should have not say that word, but it is around here. There's not a good shop anywhere around here. So I need to save up my pennies, Lydia, to go, yeah. Yeah, I don't wonder you got rid of Sky. Where will I stay? I can't stay at my niece's. Well, I could stay at my niece's, but she's got a staircase like that, and she's frightened of me falling. So in the middle of Prestwich is the travel lodge, so I'm going to stay there. So she'll book it for me. I'll pay for it, but she'll book it for me. So that's where I can stay in my travel lodge. But it's right in the centre of Prestwich, so any of my friends that are there, I can always have breakfast with them or something like that, See my old friend Sarah or any people that I knew. If anybody's around and about, most of them will be at work, I presume, yeah. But the ones who aren't at work, yeah. There was a gunman in Prestwich waving a gun about tonight, but it was a replica, it wasn't a real gun. But people he was waving it out didn't know that, did they? Anyway, he's got arrested. The things that happen in Prestwich that never used to happen when I lived there. Tell me about it. Still. Yeah, I want to go to Bury Market. They have a really nice wool shop there. Well, wool stall. It's a bit hit and miss, though, because sometimes you go, they don't have many bargains. And other times you go, it's like fill your boots, they've got so much. He used to do a lot of things that didn't have labels on, but you knew what they were because you could sort of recognise them, yeah. So, and also on my last day kind of thing, I want to go to the fish market and, get a load of fish and stuff, bring it back home with me to stick it in the freezer. Because Fleetwood, you would think it'd be a fish town, wouldn't you? But fish here is so expensive. But when you compare it to Bury Market, wow. I used to go on a Saturday about 4 o'clock when the market was closing. And they used to do all the barking, like, come on, ladies, so much for this, so much for that. And they were selling fish at ridiculously cheap prices because, of course, they didn't want to take it away with them, did they? Because they couldn't refreeze it, keep it till, well, I don't know whether they opened on the Monday. I'm not too sure about that. So they used to be just trying to get rid of everything. We used to get massive big salmon, for next to nothing. Chickens and things. I used to take my wheelie. And I used to spend about 30, 40 pounds. And I used to fill my wheelie. And I used to come home and bag it all up into individual portions and stick it all in my freezer. And it used to last me a month or more, yeah. Much cheaper than, the meat at the supermarket. So I'd love to go back and at least buy some fish. If nothing else, buy some fish. I love fish. We don't have it often enough here. I just love my fish. Can't beat a nice chunky bit of cod. Or a bit of haddock, yeah. And maybe go to the chippy and have my chippy. It depends which part of England he's going to, Chris, yeah. Oh, I love fish. I really do love fish. Sadly, we don't have it very often here. I'm not into salmon as much. I went on a diet one time, and a lot of it was salmon-based, and I sort of over-salmoned myself, yeah. How do I prepare it? Very plainly, Lydia, very plain. I just like my fish not messed about with, if you know what I mean. I just usually wrap it in a bit of foil with some butter and salt and pepper. Or I do put it in the frying pan sometimes with onions and tomatoes and do it like Spanish sort of fish. But I don't like my fish mucked about with, if you know what I mean. No, I'm not much into salmon at all. The funny thing is I'll eat tinned salmon, and that's probably hardly ever seen a salmon, has it, But I do like my tinned salmon. I love a tinned salmon butty sandwich, in other words. Do love a tinned salmon. And I love tinned salmon in the salad. You see, I'm a beggar for a salad, and we don't hardly have them here. I love salad. Maybe not so much in the winter. But I'm a plain food person. I'm not into all this spicy muck, yeah. Not into all this salsas and Nando's and all that stuff. I'm not into that at all. Hi, Melly. Happy New Year. No, I'm a very plain person. Food-wise, anyway. I'm a plain person anyway, but food-wise, I'm a very plain person. Yeah. I think it depends on how you're brought up. I was brought up on just plain staple cookery. Pasta wasn't like invented in England when I was growing up. And rice was only in the pudding. All this other stuff. Never heard of a pizza. I was brought up on old-fashioned UK cooking, which was plain, really, and more people would say, well, younger people from other countries call it boring, but I just like it boring. I don't like pastas and stuff like that. And what's this passion for mac and cheese? Oh, disgusting stuff. Disgusting stuff. Macaroni cheese, that'd be a prison sentence to me. If you wanted to hurt me, give me mac and cheese. Oh dear. But I'm not into all that spaghetti stuff. When I see them eating platefuls of spaghetti sprinkled with a few veg, I'm like, no, vegetables sprinkled with a bit of pasta's more me. I do not want a plate of pasta. The only one I ever used to eat was the homemadey kind of stuff. What do you call it? Where it's a little square. And it's got ricotta and cheese and stuff inside. Ricotta, cheese and spinach or something inside it. They're like little squares. You put cheese sauce over them. Ravioli, is it? Yeah. But it has to be the fresh stuff. I don't like the tin stuff or anything like that. I used to buy it at Tesco's. It was like home, well, not homemade, but you know what I mean. The luxury brand. Such a snob I am. But I used to quite like that. That's the only kind of pasta I would eat, yeah. He's in the Air Force, or he could be anywhere then. Parts of UK are absolutely beautiful. I keep meaning to take a video of where I live because it's far from beautiful. You would see the boring scooter journey I have to make when I go anywhere. Get the new scooter Monday. I will show you when I get it. It's got a cover on it, but it's not like the Popemobile. I've told him to give the Popemobile to somebody who's deaf and doesn't have any spinal issues, because that's the only person who could ever use that thing I've got. It's been stuck outside front door since he brought me the other scooter. I haven't been out in it. I haven't touched it. I've even been out in rain and got wet through. So that's just how much I hate that big scooter. It's not fit for anything. It's not fit for purpose. It's not fit for anybody to have that scooter. Whoever designed it, I think they must have had bits of Lego left over. Or Meccano, I should say. Because that's what it looks like. It looks like Meccano and plastic sheeting. Because that's what it is. I think any kid could have built one better, if you know what I mean. Wasn't very well designed. Whoever thought it was a good idea? And squeak. You can't hear yourself think. I was going down the seafront and it was like all the way down the seafront. By the time you've done half an hour with that kind of noise in your ear all the way down the seafront, people turning round and looking at you like you're mental, you know? What the heck's coming up behind us, yeah? And then you can see them sort of with a little snigger. Honest, I could stand up in that one and steer it, yeah. It's that tall. I could stand up in it. Well, he's bringing me two, Nathan, so I'm hoping. Yeah, somebody who can't bend in the middle. Just has to stand up to steer it. Definitely nobody with spinal issues, because it shakes you about like it's got no springs. I'd swear if Fred Flintstone had made that one, it had wooden wheels, yeah. Gosh, truth, honestly. Never mind. It's going. It's going. I might have to pay to break my contract, but I don't care. It's worth it to me to break that contract. I tell you what, you could get somebody else in there as well. You know, you could get a St. Bernard dog in as well, you know. That's how big it was. Great Dane sat at the front, you know. All right, Chris, we shall see you next week then. I don't envy you cleaning the house, but it was torture, Nathan. If I'd have tried it out before he left it, I would have never kept it, because it was just a nightmare right from the start. The minute I got in it, I phoned him back the same day and said, I can't do with it. Can't do with it. And he's going, why? I said, it's squeaking. Like crackers. It's squeak, squeak, squeak. The only time I went out in it, I went and I was driving along at the same side as my friend, and she's got her mobility scooter. And we normally have a conversation side by side as we're going up the seafront, because it's wide enough. We're not like in anybody's way. We can like go two abreast, if you know what I mean. I couldn't hear what she was saying, and she couldn't hear me for the squeaking. We had to just call a halt on the conversation, so it was a very boring ride, because we had to ride in silence, because we neither of us could hear each other, because it was squeaking that much. So like I say, I don't know who passed it, who designed it, who passed it, but it would never get any stars on Trustpilot. Yes, he's bringing me 2, and I am determined I'm going to test it, Lydia, before he leaves. He is not leaving me with another squeakmobile. I mean, it comes to something when you'd rather go out in the rain and get wet through on an ordinary scooter. I don't know about Stevie Wonder. I think who's deaf? Somebody who's deaf would be all right with that scooter. But definitely nobody who's got spinal issues. It went down a curb like that, so it felt like it was going to tip you out sideways and then tip you out sideways the other way. Whereas my scooter goes down a bump like that, like 2 wheels together. Yeah. But this one goes down like that somehow. So it was scary. I just didn't trust it. I just thought I was going to fall over at any moment. And when I went on the seafront, if it was the slightest bit breezy, I felt like it was blowing me in the side or blowing me in the sea. And when I read the bump that came with it, it said, don't use when it's windy. And I'm like, hang on a minute. I thought that's why I got it. To shield me from the wind and the weather and the rain. And it's telling me not to use it when it's windy. So in other words, when it's windy, you've got to stop in, have you? No, thank you. I live by the sea. There's not many days when it's not windy. That reminds me, I must find the pamphlet that I got that came with it. Get it in back. Yeah, test it on curb. It's no good testing it on the main road, is it? Because the main road doesn't have any bumps. The seafront here is like done in concrete slabs, if you know what I mean, joined together. And they leave a little gap between them, I suppose, for expansion, contraction, whatever. So the seafront is not like made of tarmac or what do you call it? I don't know what the word you would use in America. Not tarmac, bitumen, whatever. It's made in concrete pieces. So every time you hit one of the bumps, it's like the bump, and you go a bit longer, then the bump, It's not smooth. I suppose they do it that way for expansion joints and stuff. It would be lovely if it was all tarmac, bitumen, whatever you call it in America. I don't know what you call it. We call it tarmac here. But it's smooth. So that would have been okay, yeah. And also here, they don't seem to think about the disabled because we don't have many, like ramped pavements. We have curbs that... So you have to go down the street to try and find someone's driveway so you can go down, and around, You can't go in a direct line anywhere around here because you can't go down the curbs because they're like that big, which may not sound a lot, but it is when you're going down them on a scooter. It's just not disabled friendly around here, which you would think so because it's flat and also it's a very big retirement area. There's a lot of old fogies around here, yeah. So you would think they'd be a bit more, disabled friendly. And it's amazing when you go out and about how many places, they have steps to go into the places, which you can't negotiate, on a scooter, obviously. Or places that don't have, doors that open properly. Yeah, asphalt, yeah, that's probably what you call it. We do call it asphalt if you're being posh over here. But we don't call it blacktop. Yeah. Although, there was a programme called The Boys from the Black Stuff, wasn't there? I should know the names because I dated a tarmac driver for 9 years. Yeah. I used to go out with him on the wagon. Oh my goodness, I loved the smell of tar. Oh, maybe that's why I went out with him, because I loved to sniff him. And he smelled of tarmac. Even now when they're doing the roads and I'm going past, I'm like, like the Bisto kid. I love the smell of tarmac. Oh, I love tar. When I was little, with living in sort of a damp environment, I was always had catarrh. Even as a tiny child, I had catarrh. Sinuses trouble, catarrh. My mother used to park me in front of tar or anything, especially hot tar. Yeah. If she knew they were doing the road anywhere, she'd wheel me in my pram and stuff me next to them. They used to warm it up in like I mean, now it's all done automated, but they used to warm it up in like a big brazier and warm the shovels up and everything. And the smell of tar, I can still smell it now. I absolutely love it. And we used to buy coal tar soap. Does anybody remember coal tar soap? Don't think they sell it anymore, but I used to love it. Coal tar soap. It's not exactly like, ladylike smell. It's more like smell like the miners would probably have. But, oh, look at that. I've got that much at the end of a row, which is great because I don't like knotted in the middle unless I have to. And don't tell me to do that roll together stuff like that. Or that Russian knot and join. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. They come apart. It's all right if you're using pure wool. Pure wool felts together, you can do that. But not anything else. I'm on a new bowl. I'm on a new 100 gram. Trentino, I've never heard of it, 90% acrylic, 10% wool. Made in West Yorkshire now. That's a blooming change, isn't it? Everything's made in Turkey these days. You can tell I've had this wool a while, can't you? Yarn, whatever you want to call it. You can tell I've had it a while. It's made in Yorkshire. Yeah, West Yorkshire. English. English wool. English acrylic, yeah. As I said before, I call everything wool. Everything is wool. Well, I found all the old photographs and, been a laugh, really. I mean, I found some old school photographs and I don't know who half of them are. And they were in my class. But I was only about 5, so it's not much surprise there that I don't know. I've put them on the page for where I used to live and I've said, does anybody else know who these people are? Because I don't know who they are. Mind you, I did, oh, look at that. An extra piece. I'll save that for sewing up. Mind you, I put a photograph on there. And my father had written on the back that he did the flowers for the Rose Queen. A Rose Queen is like when we used to have Whit walks, which you maybe don't have in America. Whit Sunday, they used to walk around in your best clothes. You used to carry the banner from the church. And we always had a Rose Queen. And she had attendants that used to walk behind her. Anyway, this particular photograph, all it said on the back was 1936-37. And my dad had written that he did the flowers. So I put it on this page thinking nobody will know who the heck this is. And one lady went, that's my mum. So it was her mum. So I thought, oh, I can reunite them. She can have the photo. Because I had no idea who it was. Not a clue, not a clue. I just got to see if I could show you one photo for a laugh. No, I can't see it now. Can't see it. Can't see it. I had a photograph of me when I was little. But I don't know where it is. Yeah, I was so happy to reunite him with a mum's photo from all those years ago. From 1936, 37. I've also got a lot of photos from Whit walks. This is a Whit walk procession where I believe they do it in Malta still, where you carry, the statuette to the Virgin Mary around. Little girls hold the ribbons and things. These were all in my family's photographs, and I have no idea who any of them are. So I'd said to this guy on this page, and he said, "Oh, don't throw them away, they're history." He said, "Send them to me." So I'm in the process of sending them to him, because I've no idea who any of them are. I do know this one because that one there is my aunt. But I mean, aren't they a miserable looking shower? Don't they look happy to be walking? She does. She looks miserable as sin, doesn't she? Maybe her feet were hurting her, bless her. Yeah, maybe so. And then that's my two aunts. That one there is my Auntie Mary Alice, and that one there is my Auntie Janie. And why they're dressed up like that is something called the Children of Mary. Who? Children of Mary? I don't know. Yeah, it does look a bit like somebody in drag, doesn't it, the other one? I think she's there again, isn't she? Yeah, she's there. She's my friend Kimberly, she's very, very tall. Yeah, very, very tall. I've had a laugh with some of these photographs. I mean, I've reunited some photographs with my my cousin. I'm not frozen, but it says I'm reconnecting. This one here, I used to live, wait a minute, 4 houses down from this pub there. I was born in that house 4 houses down from the pub. Yeah, that was where I was born. Am I still frozen, Nathan? Am I still? Or am I moving now? Yeah. Yeah, but that's where I was born, 4 houses down from the pub. The pub's still there. The houses are long gone. Long, 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 long gone. Yeah, so I'm giving those to somebody. I'm giving them to somebody who knows who they might be, because I have no idea. No idea who they might be. None at all. None at all. That is a rose queen, by the way. Lost it. That is a rose queen. And that sweet little thing there. These 2 little boys here fought all the way around. My rose queen had to keep telling them off because they just kept punching each other all the way around. That is the photograph from 1936 that I'm reuniting. The lady who is the rose queen there is her mum. Don't they look a miserable shower? Yeah, a rose queen, yeah. It belongs, it's some tradition or other, I don't know why. And a wit walk, you have a rose queen and you have all the attendants. And I was never a rose queen, but I was an attendant. Yeah. So, yes. So, yeah. If you look it up, I'm sure you'll find what it is. I don't think they do them anymore now, Nathan. I think it's a thing from the past, yeah. Thing from the past. Yeah, I'm going to give him this as well. It's a pamphlet. It says Royton Festival 1974. You've never heard of them? Oh, see, you've led a sheltered life. You obviously never went to church. Have you heard of the Whitsuntide walks, where you used to get new clothes and you used to walk around and show your new clothes off, and you used to carry the banners from the church, and any statuettes that you have, the men would carry them on their shoulders. It's a bit like in Malta. They do it in Malta. So you're probably too young to have heard of Whitsuntide walks. Anybody who's older on here may have done. My aunt used to take me all over the place. We used to go to Oldham and we used to watch the Ukrainians and the Polish people. They used to dress in all their national costumes, with the ribbons and everything. And fantastic sight. You know, all the embroidery and everything. The Polish people used to wear shirts and blouses with loads of embroidery on them, and fabulous they were. And we would go to Manchester and watch them walk. The Italians used to walk in Manchester, the Maltese. They all had different days where they used to walk, and they used to carry the statuettes, the sort of religious icon things, whatever they are. And they were always dressed up in national costume. I used to love it when I was a child. I used to love it all, watching them do it or walk round. Stand for hours just to watch them. And they'd have a band, you know. Band would be playing, brass band. Um, because where I lived in Oldham, it was a great place for what they used to call DPs. It was displaced persons, people who'd come over to escape the persecution of the Nazis. They'd be Polish, they'd be Ukrainian. I suppose there were some Germans as well, I don't know. But they were what they called DPs, and they came over and they used to work. They weren't in prison, they were sort of like in camps, but they used to work. In fact, a lot of the Polish people and Ukrainian people actually married Oldham girls. Funnily enough, I go to a knit club with a lady who married a Ukrainian guy whose parents had fled from the Ukraine, you know, because of Hitler. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even where I lived, it was a very diverse cultural. It wasn't diverse in the fact that there was black and Pakistani or Asian people. It was more diverse because it was Ukrainian, Jewish, Polish, German, whatever, all those kind of people that were there around where I lived, yeah. Hi, Ethan. So it was quite normal for people to be called Zumsky or something like that. In fact, I used to have a crush on a lad called John Zumsky. Often wonder where he is now. I think he married a friend of mine, actually. I used to think he was so handsome. He probably wouldn't give him the time of day now, but you know what I mean. But yeah, when I was a teenager growing up, I thought he was so handsome. I think he was Polish, Ukrainian, something like that, yeah. With a name like Zumsky. It was Szumsky, Zumsky. Yeah, there was quite a lot. Oh, telling me what I should be interested in on Pinterest. Pinterest is okay, but when you go into the patterns, they're never there, are they? Hi, Shadow. I love pine. Not pine tar. Pine tar. I just love tarmac here. My necklace. There you go. Look. It's like, reminds me of sea urchins, this one. It's on a minute. There you go. It reminds me of sea urchins. Yeah. No, it's not pine. I don't like the smell of pine. You know, that disinfectant. Don't like pine. Always reminds me of school. The disinfectant they used to use at school was pine. Or Dettol. Do you have Dettol in America? We have Dettol over here. That smells very antiseptic, yeah. There are certain smells I like and certain smells I don't like. Always reminds me of school. That and sawdust. When anybody's ever been sick or anything at school, they used to shove a load of sawdust down, yeah. Yeah, pine cleaner, yeah. Or they used to throw sawdust on it, didn't they, first of all? So that it would dry and then they could sweep it up. I don't like sawdust. Why did they think that sawdust was a good idea? Mind you, when I was young, they used to have sawdust on the butcher's floors. When you went in the butcher's, you used to walk in on sawdust. My dad used to come home and because he had turnips in his trousers in those days back when I was a kid. It was the fashion to have turnip trousers. And he'd have all this all this sawdust in his trousers. My mother used to put a piece of paper on the chair by the door, and as he came in the front door, he'd have to tip his turnips into this newspaper so she could throw it in the bin before he was allowed in. Because otherwise he'd be scattering sawdust all over everywhere. Back in the day, we didn't have fitted carpet. We just had a square of carpet with linoleum all the way around the outside. My job used to polish the linoleum. Hands and knees polishing the linoleum. Gosh, those were the days, weren't they? Nowadays, people don't know they're born, do they? I'm mop and stone the front doorstep, if you know what that is. Used to mop the front doorstep and put this chalky stuff. Used to call it a donkey stone. Nothing to do with donkeys, but a donkey stone. And it used to make all your doorstep white. And you used to do the window bottom as well, the windowsill outside. And you used to do like a semicircle from your front door. Bear in mind that we were right on the main road with all the dust blowing through. And everybody walking past, because we didn't have a garden. You just walked from the pavement straight in our house, as you probably saw from that photograph. But you had to do your donkey stone your step. Oh, God, that used to be my job. Because when you were little, it don't matter how small you are, you got jobs. Yeah, and turn the mangle. When she did the washing on a Monday, I was there to turn the mangle. I've mangled my fingers more times than you care to mention. It's a wonder I haven't got flat fingers. Because it's the days before. She had a washing machine, my mum, but it was an old-fashioned one. Didn't have a tumble. There's no such thing as a tumble dryer back then. No such thing. You either dried it on the line, or if it was raining, you dried it on the rack that came down from the ceiling, and you hung it on the rack and wound it up to the ceiling where it dried. Or you put it on a maiden or a clothes area and put it round the fire to dry it. My dad used to come in from work sometimes. There'd be all this wet washing in front of the fire. And he used to say, I don't pay for coal, he said, to dry the washing. I pay for coal to keep myself warm. Yeah, we used to donkey stone. I don't know when it all stopped, that donkey stoning. But, oh, woe betide if you didn't donkey stone your step. People used to knock on the door to see if you were all right. Is your mum ill? She's not donkey stoned her step today. Oh, we used to get it off the rag and bone man. Used to give him some rags, and in return he'd give you a donkey stone. Those were the days. Rag bone, donkey stone. He'd be clip clop with this little pony thing in a cart. Heat took clothes. And I used to say, can I have a goldfish? He's dead. Can I have a goldfish? No, you can't have a goldfish. We need a donkey stone. Because he used to give you goldfish as well. What do we want with a blooming goldfish? But Mummy, I want a goldfish. No, you're not having a goldfish. There's no bowl. We haven't got a bowl. I'd have to go out and buy a bowl if you got a goldfish, and we haven't got one. So no, you can't have a goldfish. So I never got a goldfish. All we had was a succession of cats who got run over because we lived on the main road. So I think the average life of our cats was about 6 months. Because as soon as they got out, they used to get run over. Life was hard for a cat back in the day. There was no such thing as indoor cats and cat litter. That was unheard of. You put the cat outside. Cats had to be tough back in my day, or they died. Oh dear. But there was always kittens. There was always millions of kittens because nobody had the cat scene to. It's the same with dogs. There was always puppies everywhere because nobody had the animals. You know, there was no such thing as taking them to the vet and having them spayed and stuff like that. Nobody did that. You just had loads and loads and loads of puppies and cats and kittens and whatever. Hey, those were the days. The good old days. Oh, Donkey's a brand, is it? Donkey Stone, yeah. I don't know what it was, kind of a sandstone. Hiya, Jill. How are you doing? Are you food shopping or luxury type shopping? If you're food shopping, how boring. If you're luxury shopping, buy something nice. Yeah. I'm not into food shopping much. It's a bit boring, isn't it? Well, I've done 6 out of my 8 rows, so it's growing a bit. I used to be a much, yeah, it's like a pumice stone. That's what it's like. But pumice stone wouldn't leave a residue on your step. Pumice stone's more like what you get the hard skin off your fingers and feet with, isn't it? But yeah, it's growing a bit. Look, it's growing. You can see the cabling now starting to emerge, can't you? Oh, I wish I was a neat knitter, but I'm not. Food, shoes. Oh, that sounds interesting. Much better than going and getting cauliflower and onions, isn't it? Food and shoes. Leave the food, just get the shoes, the storage, and the organisational stuff. I need to go back in the shed. I went in yesterday just to get the knitting needles and some wool. It was freezing. It was so cold. I couldn't stay there. My fingers were dropping off, and I was only in about 5 minutes. My needles were all in a great big jug, so I was like sorting through them, looking for the sizes because they're not together in pairs. That's too organised. My fingers were freezing. So I would have liked a different colour than this sort of turquoise green, but it was the only one I had enough of. Because the pattern's in ounces, so I couldn't work out how many that was in 100 grams. Once I've done this, I'll know how many 100 grams, and I might be able to buy it in lilac, because that's the colour I want to do it in. That's the colour I made it in many, many years ago. You can tell I was a teenager, because if you look at the size, it says 34 to 38 inch bust. So obviously, I've had to put bits at either side to make it bigger. So if you're thinking of getting it, it's only for tiny people, unless you're good at sizing things up. Oh, these taste a bit funny. 45% less salt. It reminds me when I was young. Crisps used to come without salt. You used to get a little blue bag that you undid and shook it into the crisps and shook it up and down to get salted crisps. I suppose it is better for you, salt in it, but I used to do iron and everything, Lydia, at one time. There's a lady who goes to knit club on a Wednesday, and she's a whiz at iron. She does all these iron cardigans and stuff. I haven't knitted an iron in many, many moons. With having arthritis in the fingers, you see how swollen that one is. Twisting and turning and stuff like that really hurts my hands now. Oh, I'm not exactly Speedy Gonzales with my knitting anymore. At one time, I was like tick, 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 really quick with knitting. People just said, "You finished it already." I'm not now. Slow, much, much, much slower. But there's no rush. It doesn't matter when I finish this sweater. It's just I'm so off my crochet that I just decided I'd try knitting, see if it got my mojo going again. Oh, you still get them? Salt and shake. They all used to be like that at one time. But when I was a kid, there wasn't many flavours. Wasn't many flavoured crisps were crisps. I don't think they got flavours. Can't remember. I don't remember. I only remember getting crisps. I'm not very good at stocking stitch. My tension's very uneven these days. I used to be very even. But now I'm very uneven with stocking stitch. It goes in ridges. And you look at the back of it, it's like 2, then there's a gap, 2 and a gap, 2 and a gap. And it's slacker with one of my stitches. Oh, thank you, Shad, yeah. Hit the like button. As they always say in these videos and that, if you like me, hit the like and subscribe button. I always forget to say that. My subscribers might be very loyal, but they don't grow. They never grow, my subscribers. I think I've stayed the same for a couple of years. They've stayed the same number. Give or take one. Oh, my campfire cardigan's still there on the floor next to my feet. I've just gone right off my crochet. As I say, I'm thinking about getting either a tablet or a laptop, but not an expensive one. I can't afford one now. I mean, if you go into these shops, you know, you're looking at laptops. The price of them, you're thinking, oh my God, you can buy a car for that near enough. But my friend says you don't have to pay that much unless you want something fancy-dancy, which I don't. So I said to her, well, help me to look for one then. You're back again, are you, Rick? Right, oh, hello again. Oh, my hair's dropping in pieces. Got rid of the dark. I stuck it in the dye again today. You didn't have any fights. Nobody brought you necklace and punched you in the dog bowl, did they? If I'd have been his brother, he wouldn't have hit the dog bowl. He'd have had no teeth. No doubt he asked for it. You know what brothers are like. They're always fighting. I don't know why he thought it was noteworthy to put it in a book. When I was little, I hit my brother with a shovel. Mind you, he'd shut me in the coal hole in the dark, but he knew I didn't like dark. He shut me in the coal hole, so when he finally let me out, I walloped him with the shovel, you know, the coal shovel. Walloped him with the shovel and cut his head. Guess who got blamed? Me. Yeah, dog bowl. He broke a dog bowl. Poor little soul. You never know what he said. He's not telling you that bit, is he? You know what brothers are like. Brothers fight. It's just the law of nature, isn't it? They squabble, they fight. But you don't put it in a book, do you? Yeah, it is. He's sad. What's he going to do when he's run out of things to say? He's going to be very poor, isn't he? Because nobody's going to want to listen to him anymore. All families fight, fall out, but you don't write a book about it, do you? You know, I mean, I love my brother in my own way, but my God, we were like cat and dog when we were growing up. You know, you like that with your siblings, aren't you? You don't. It's not all the Waltons, is it? You know what I mean? Most people don't even have a therapist, do they, Lydia? Therapist is a new way. We just dealt with it back in my day. You just got on with it, didn't you? I'm not saying a therapist wouldn't help, but I mean, we just didn't have them back in my day. There wasn't such thing as a therapist. I mean, when did they come about, therapists, Chris? What did they? Hello, sir, what's knitting? When did they come around? I'm sure it's a modern thing. I don't remember being around when I was a kid. When I was a kid, you put your big girl knickers on and you pulled them up and you got on with it. I mean, even tranquilizers are a thing of the what? 70s, 80s? It wasn't in the. Yeah, you just. Yeah, you don't do it though, do you, Denise? You know, I mean, yeah, therapy is private. You just discuss whatever, I presume. I'm not saying that because I've never been really. But I presume you talk over with the therapist what is bothering you, stuff like that. But you don't then go out and write a book about it, do you? I mean, there are so many people in this world who had an absolutely dreadful, traumatic upbringing, time of it. I mean, really, really bad. You know, and you're thinking to yourself, God, he's whinging about being knocked over into a dog bowl and he's whinging about that. And I mean, there's so many people who probably think that would have been great if somebody had just punched me and knocked me in a dog bowl. That would have been great. I mean, thankfully, I don't think my family's got any skeletons like that, thankfully, but I don't know, do I? I don't know what went on when I was, my parents were young. I don't know, because they never spoke about it and they never told me, so I presume everything was hunky dory. Maybe it was awful, I don't know. But it wasn't a thing that was spoken about, good or bad, I don't know, but it wasn't really spoken about. You know, if they had anything that were, you know, I still never know, and I know, but none of them certainly did. A few of them turned to drink, but that's just whatever. hmm That's what I'm working on now, Issa. I made that when I was about 17, and I'm now making it again because I found the pattern on Etsy. But I'm making it in that colour, jade greeny colour. But don't be expecting it to be finished anytime soon because I'm very slow at knitting. I used to be fast, but I'm not now. I have to keep stopping because of the arthritis in my hand. I've got Fry's orange cream. It's a bit tarty. It's not. It's got dark chocolate, which I'm not a lover of. Yeah, yeah. The front and back they're both the same, as far as I'm aware, if I remember rightly. Bye, Sinead. Thanks for your company. We'll see you next week, hopefully. Yeah, I made it in lilac when I made it the first time. In a wool called Peyton's Big Ben. Lovely. Pure wool it was. Very smooth, lovely wool. Then I made it again in red chunky. But whatever I did it in red, it wasn't very good quality red because it fluffed up. So I'm making it again in some wool that's called, oops, here we go, called Peyton's Trentino Chunky, which I've never heard of, but obviously I must have heard of it because I must have bought it at some time. And it's actually made in Yorkshire, which is a nice change from Turkey. So I must have had it some time. If it does turn out nice, I might go mad and buy some lilac. Once I find out how many balls to buy, I might buy some lilac. Peyton's Big Ben. It actually came in a hank. It wasn't in a ball. Peyton's Big Ben. It was lovely. It had like a, even though it was pure wool, it had like a sort of a twist on it. And I remember it lasted me, that lilac sweater. Lasted me ages. But the red one didn't last 2 minutes before it all fluffed up. Mm. Chocolate all over my fingers now. None of the wools are as good as they used to, unless you're buying pure wool. But who the heck can afford that these days? But I've even bought hand-dyed yarn. I made socks and it's fluffed up like that. If you listen to people like Canadian crop tutor, she always says, "Oh, it's buttery soft, buttery soft." And I'm thinking, yeah, I bet it butter fluffs up and all. This cardigan is Serdar Wash and Wear crepe. And it just washes and washes and washes. It started to fluff up now. But this is about at least 20 years old, this cardigan. Oh, that chunky chocolate's made me cough. But honestly, it just washes and washes and washes. I've got about 3 cardigans, all in the same stitch. You're making some leg warmers now. The cardigan I've just finished, that super chunky thing, every time I went like that with a yarn, it just parted company. It was just, it was just reminding me of, like, you know, the yarn you buy before you spin it. You know, that fluff stuff you buy before you spin it into something finer. That's what it reminded me of. And yet it was Serdar. It wasn't rubbish, but it was rubbish, if you know what I mean. I had to keep knotting it, and oh, it was a mess. I made a cardigan. I was determined it was going to turn into something. I wasn't going to just throw it away. Yeah, I think this cardigan's going to have to be a hand washer. I don't think it'll stand the machine. I think it'll fall apart if I put it in the machine. And yeah, it's Serdar, it's not rubbish. You wouldn't have thought the Serdar would have put their name to it. But they did. I need to do 8 rows before I stop. It's 8 rows to a pattern, so I don't like leaving it when I haven't done the 8 rows. Viva Las Vegas. Oh, I watched Jane McDonald the other day. Normally, I like watching her programs because she does cruising. And she goes all over the place and they're lovely. But she went to Las Vegas. She wasn't cruising, she just went to Las Vegas. And I'm thinking, why? If that program was meant to make me want to go to Las Vegas, it sadly fell short of the mark. Just not my place at all. Bright flashing lights, casinos, big hotels, gambling. It looks like somewhere I would avoid like a plague. Not my kind of town at all. I suppose some people like it, otherwise it wouldn't be popular, would it? Oh, that's awkward. Twisting 3. That really hurts your fingers. Yeah, I'm going to finish this 8 rows. I don't mind if I only do 8 rows a night, yeah. Oh, God. Vegas, it was just my idea of a nightmare. City that never sleeps. I'm thinking, my God, I wish they'd turn these bloody lights off a bit, you know. Obviously, gambling pays, and not to the person who's gambling. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to do all they do in Las Vegas. Some poor sucker that loses all his money must go there. I'm too tight to gamble. Having said that, I do the lottery, but that's me lot, yeah. Oh, I wouldn't want to stay there, Lydia. I wouldn't even want to drive through it. Not my idea of fun. Like I say, to each his own, though. To some people might think it's wonderful. I don't like big towns. Don't like big places. I don't think I'd even like New York. I'll never go to America, but if I did, I wouldn't want to go to the big towns. Oh, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't pay that kind of money. What the hell? Hundreds of dollars, I bet it is for a ticket. No, thanks. My days of going paying money to see people are gone. I used to do it in my day, but we're not talking that kind of money. You know, the last person I paid to go and see was Luther Vandross, and I paid £60 for a ticket for him. And I wanted to go and see what they call Il Divo, but the tickets were £200, and that was like the cheap seats. And I thought, no, I shall just watch Il Divo on the telly or YouTube. I am not paying 200 quid a ticket. And in any case, it was when he died. He came to Manchester, so they never did that concert anyway because he died. First of all, it got cancelled because of COVID, and then he came and he died in Manchester. Caught the COVID and died. So I wouldn't have seen him anyway. You better pay 200 quid, which I would not have done, believe me. Ice Cube's coming to Seattle. Oh, good for you. I wouldn't pay to see him either. I wouldn't pay hundreds of dollars to see anybody. They're all overrated. Buy a video, see him on the telly. I mean, Luther Vandross was brilliant live, but he was having one of his fat phases and he wouldn't have the big screens put up. So I paid, £60 to see this little figure about that high on a stage. I mean, apart from the voice, he could have been anybody because I hadn't taken binoculars and I couldn't see him. But he refused to have the big screens up because he was having a fat phase. I mean, Luther Vandross was always having a fat phase, so, why be so vain? I only liked Ice Cube when he was in, what was it? That TV programme he was in. Well, I'm sure a lot of people are very good, but I'm not paying that kind of price. I'm just tight. I haven't got that money to spare. If people weren't prepared to pay all that money to see them, they wouldn't be able to command it, would they? And it's not that you can't get the tickets anyway because ticket touts or whatever you want to call them grab all the tickets and then they start selling them at 3 or 4 times the face value price because they bought all the tickets and nobody can get in. It's all a con, isn't it, these days? Money, money, money. Everybody's grab, grab, grab. Everybody wants to make a fast buck and not do anything for it. Yeah, Dionne Warwick, yeah. I can't do with some of these modern singers where they're all swearing, effing and jeffing and they're nobodies when all's said and done. There won't be anybody in about 10 years' time. Everybody's going to be saying, ooh, ooh. They won't be legends like the old-fashioned singers were. They're still yeah. Taylor Swift, who's she? Rascal Flatts, never heard of him. Ed Sheeran, yeah, I have, yeah. I have heard of Taylor Swift, but I don't rate her much. No more Whitney Houston. I mean, some of the golden oldies, it's time they hung the boots up now, isn't it? You know, come on, let's admit it. They don't hit the high notes anymore, do they? When they get older, they flatten all the songs out. Have you noticed? They don't have any highs or any lows. They just sing in the middle. Yeah, my last concert was Luther Vandross. That was, God, about 2000 or something like that. Because he died not long afterwards. I used to see people, in the old days, like the Everly Brothers, and seen Little Richard, Chuck Berry, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, seen all of them. But lately, no, not seen any of them lately. As I say, the prices have just gone up too much, and I won't pay the prices. I think Diana Ross came to Blackpool. I thought, my God, is she slumming it or what? It's not exactly like the great metropolis is Blackpool, I've no idea who Rascal Flatts is. Who is he? Well, I'm missing something here. I have no idea. Never heard of him. Never heard of Rascal Flatts, whoever he may be. I've got a split stitch here. Oh dear, it's a really split stitch as well. That's better. Oh, they're a country band. No, I've not heard of them. Don't think they made it over here. Or maybe it's just me who's never heard of them. Oh God, dear Ticketmaster. They make huge profits. And it's not only that, the touts buy them all up. And then they start selling them off, don't they? At 3 times the price of the face of the ticket. I think they shouldn't be allowed. Shouldn't be allowed to do that. It should be illegal. I think I've picked that stitch up now. It could be the back anyway, this. Pet Shop Boys. No, I'm tight. I'm tight. I tell you, Rick, I am so tight I will not pay it. They could be my idols and I still wouldn't pay it. The last show I went to was Funny Girls in Blackpool. Drag acts and that. I don't know what that part of it was because I didn't pay for the ticket. It was a surprise for me from my family. I mean, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, but there was an awful lot in between. Well, they've gone off a bit, haven't they? Let's face it, Denise. Don't think either of them are hitting the high notes anymore. I believe Rod Stewart's terrible at the minute, but They should give up when they get to a certain age, shouldn't they? When they can't hit the notes anymore. I'd rather go and see a musical. You know, I don't mean big names or anything like that. I'd rather go and see a musical. I always wanted to see Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat, was it? But I never did, never got round to it. No, I'm not bothered about it being a big name, just as long as it's a good show, you know. But even these West End musicals are really, really expensive, the tickets for that. And of course, I'd never get to London to see them anyway. Even going to the cinemas, it's half of a week's pension just to go to the cinema these days. It's amazing once you're on a limited budget how you value things differently. You know, when I was younger, it's like, but once you're on a set budget, you know, it's like, what? I'm not into kind of opera. I used to like operetta. You know, the Gilbert and Sullivan. Three little maids from school are we? My brother used to always do the operettas. He used to do Gilbert and Sullivan. In fact, I've got a picture of him somewhere dressed as a policeman. Oh, don't know where it is now. It was here somewhere. He was in a Gilbert and Sullivan operetta. No, it's not there. But he was dressed as a policeman. I think it was maybe the Pirates of Penzance, I think it was. I know he played the Lord High Executioner in, I think it was either Iolanthe or the Mikado, I'm not sure. We used to go to see Shakespeare a lot when I was a kid at school. We had an English teacher who was mad about Shakespeare, so she used to take us to Romeo and Juliet and Much Ado About Nothing and stuff like that. We used to go quite a few times. But they were only local productions. They weren't like big high-end, you know, London productions or anything like that. Right, I've done 8 rows, so I think I've done all right tonight. If I can do 8 rows a night, I shall be happy. It's growing slowly. Put it down for a while. Oh, yeah, I'm not starting another. It's taken me from 9 o'clock to do 8 rows. So I'm not starting another 8 rows. I don't like leaving it in the middle of 8 rows, if you know what I mean. I like to, you know, think I've done 8 rows. So it's took me, what, an hour? Yeah, an hour and 3/4, isn't it, to do 8 rows. So I don't want to do another hour and 3/4 to do another 8 rows. No, I'll leave it for tonight. It's chunky. I don't know whether you call it bulky in America. You have different names and different thicknesses for things than we do. All our thicknesses of yarn over here are different, which is why we have great trouble. This is crochet. It isn't a pattern, it's a basic pattern. And I found the stitch, which is called a leaf hopper stitch. Don't know why it's called a leaf hopper stitch, but I found the stitch in a book of stitches, you know, crochet stitches that you buy. So I converted a plain cardigan into one with a leaf hopper pattern. You got Whitney Houston in your head. As long as you don't start copying it with the drugs, you'll be all right, yeah. It is. It's done, as I said, it's done in Serdar Wash and Wear. But it's lovely to work with. I think they still do it, but I'm not sure it's still crepe. You know, whether it's just wash and wear, cold wash and wear, but it's not crepe anymore. But this is the crepe. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It washes, washes, washes. New movie coming out about Whitney Houston. Bet that's sad to watch with all her drug addictions. Oh, thank you. I shall take that as a compliment, Rick. I had to smile the other day. I put a picture on Instagram of my latest bag, which is made out of felt, and it's got all those bubbles and flowers on it. And somebody put underneath it, "You are so beautiful, you have a wonderful smile." I'm thinking, huh? Eh? Obviously one of those fake, you know, I want to talk to you, I accept me as a friend. I thought, you're bonkers. It's not even me. You've got a wonderful smile. It's a bag. Picture of a bag, not a picture of me at all. Stupid. Did he really think you're going to fall for it? Yeah. Then there was another woman saying, "DM me, I have an important message for you." So I looked at her profile and it was all on about, if you want a prayer and you send me dollars and stuff like that. And I thought, yes. So I just blocked her. I thought, go away. Then I have others who say, "You are entitled to a grant for your business." And I'm like, oh, really? I'm sure I'm not. Yeah. Click on this link and for a grant for your business. Yeah, sure. I'm going to click on it and get sent off into the Netherlands and get spammed and scammed. And no. But all this week it's been tracking for your parcel. I'm like, delete. You are not tracking any parcels of mine. Somebody must fall for it, otherwise they wouldn't do it, would they? Hopefully it will never be me or you or anybody I know. Even if you're expecting a parcel, don't click on the link. Don't. Just don't. If you click on the header, it'll say something like Amazon. And then you click on the header and it'll say xyzds@gmail.com, and you're thinking, that ain't Amazon. It's like your bank internet. Your bank will never send you a text message telling you, there's some illegal alternate activity on your card or whatever. They won't. If you get any of them, ring directly to the bank, not on the number they tell you. Ring directly. Yeah, oh, knots. Yeah, she's doing a spider stitch, isn't she, at the moment on a big. She is actually doing big squares, though, isn't she, for her blanket? She's not doing tiddly little things with about 1,000,000 of them. I think she's doing about, is it 8? 8. They're quite substantial squares, aren't they? Hi, Susan. Post Malone. Who's Post Malone? I was talking to her. I love Alt Nuts. She is so wacky. If you want to look at her, she's got the most blackest sort of eyes. She's real goth. And she has like these spiky things under her. And she's got the brightest red hair in bunches on her head. And she talks 1,000,000 miles an hour. But she just fascinates me. You know, what she does, what she knits, what she crochets. She's absolutely a goth. A young music star with tattoos on his face. Oh, it's bad enough watching Matt Blow. What's he called? Him that's married to one of the Kardashians. He's got tattoos on his face. I don't understand it myself. I'm sure when he gets to his 70s, he's going to regret them. I used to have a lad come in the job centre, and he always had an elastoplast across the top of his forehead. And I said to him one time, I said, "What's on your forehead? Is it not healing up?" I said, "Have you not been to the doctors?" And he went, "It's a tattoo of my ex-girlfriend." So is he going to have to walk through life with a elastoplast over the front of his head? Because he'd broken up with this girlfriend, and he still had a name tattooed across his forehead. Don't understand it. Don't understand it. Hi, Isaac. We used to have a lot at Salford Job Centre with "cut here" written across the neck. You're a goth loom knitter. She fascinates me, that alt knit. She really fascinates me. As I say, she talks a million miles an hour, doesn't she? I must have missed. I do apologise, Isaac, if you've been here a while. I must have missed your message. I wouldn't ignore you for the world, dear. Yeah. She must have some money, though, that alt knots. Because she buys the most fantastic yarn, doesn't she? Merinos and stuff. And she buys it in big quantities, and she buys those furl crochet hooks. Every time they bring out a new furls crochet hook, she buys the whole set, doesn't she? And they're not cheap. Well, if she's got a million followers, whatever it is, maybe she earns enough off YouTube to buy all this stuff. I never get any more subscribers than I've already got. Everybody's loyal to me, but my thing never grows. My subscriber base never grows. It goes up by one, down by one, but it never goes up. It just goes like that. When I first started, it went up, it went up, it went up, it went up, but I think I've hit the plateau now. That's as much as I'm ever going to get, if you know what I mean. So, no, I don't do giveaways. I don't do anything. The last giveaway I did, people who won it, I'd never heard of them. They'd subscribed to me because they'd seen there was a giveaway. And then they all vanished again after the giveaway was over. And I thought, I'm not doing it again. If they are not my friend said to me, you should have looked through all the names first of all. And if you didn't recognise them, don't put them in the hat. Don't draw them out. Yeah. Because some people just join a YouTube channel because there's a giveaway. And then the minute the giveaway is over, if they haven't won or they have won, they come off it again. And I thought, nah, they're not the kind of, and it cost me an absolute fortune because everybody who won anything was over in the US. So it cost me a fortune. I thought, that's the last time I do a giveaway. The last time. I've only got one furls hook. It's one that, oh God, what's he called? Not Eason. Ephraim. But it's very heavy. It's a metal hook and it's got a handle and it's very heavy. Yeah. Well, my subbers are loyal, Denise. They tend to stay with me. It's just I don't get any extras. I don't promote myself, yeah. I'm not in it to do that. I'm not one of these people who I'll sub to you if you sub to me. I'm not one of them kind of people. But if people like me, they'll sub to me. That's my attitude. If they don't like me, then they don't sub to me. It's just, it's not my business. I'm not a YouTuber that's going to ever make a fortune. It doesn't worry me. I'm not in it for that. I'm not in it. You have to work too hard to be a great YouTuber. You have to be buying yarn, doing reviews, buying magazines, doing reviews, selling yourself, doing tutorials, doing whatever. It's too much like hard work for me. I just want to be just me, just do what I do, So I'm not interested in like being a big YouTube icon. Influencer. No, I'll never be one of them. Never be one of them, Rick. You have to have a certain, don't you, to do that. You have to. invest in, I suppose. One time I used to buy a load of wool at one time. Used to do a load of reviews, show what I'd bought, show what I did every week. Yeah. Hello, here's me doggy again. Hello, Rosie again. Hello, Petal. Oh, she's gone again. But and I used to buy every crochet magazine that was going. I used to buy every book that was going and do a review, but I just don't have the cash anymore. Things have gone up. Money's tighter than it used to be. I'm not moaning, I'm not grumbling. I manage, but I haven't got that spare money to spend on stuff anymore that I used to. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Denise. That's nice of you. Yeah. If I don't do one, I feel like I've missed everybody. If for some reason or other I'm not around, and I don't do a Saturday night. Very few occasions I've been really, really ill and not been able to do them. But usually Jill stood in for me, Fibre Floozy. I've told her I'm not well and she's usually stood in for me. But she does her own lives now at different times, so I can't ask her to stand in for me anymore. But no, I mean, I don't do tutorials. There's enough people do tutorials. I mean, what's he called that? John Boy started doing them now, hasn't he? And I know Crochet Rocks does some great ones, for doing crochet stitches and learning how to. She does right-handed and left-handed. That's Tracy Crochet Rocks. She does them. There's Crochet with Claire. She's done them all. So, I mean, I don't feel as though I've got anything to offer. I haven't got the equipment. I haven't got the up and over where your camera points down and stuff like that. Besides, you can't. I wouldn't even try to compete. There's so many fantastic people who do tutorials now that there's enough people doing them to my mind, yeah. So I don't make patterns up. Well, I do for my own pleasure, but I don't make patterns up that I can tell you about. I don't tell me son, but it's still in the box. I haven't charged it up yet. It's exactly like the one I normally do my videos with. I don't use a camera for this. I use my computer. I've got a little tiny camera that fits on the computer. As I say, I'm thinking, but only thinking at the moment of getting a laptop or a tablet. But it's only thinking. I've got to price it all up first. Um, do sums, work out, how much do I want to spend, stuff like that. Yeah, because I want to go on holiday this year, so that's my prime object. Is I would like to not abroad. I'm not going abroad. It's too much kerfuffle for me going abroad these days. I need a mobility scooter for a kick-off. And the planes cater for wheelchairs, but not particularly for little scooters. And also the insurance, because you have to declare everything that's wrong with you. So the insurance can cost more than the holiday. Plus the fact being a single, you pay more because you're single and maybe in a double room, yeah. So there's, it's just, I'll go in this country, I think, yeah. Nintendo. I don't wonder if he was doing videos for 10 years. He probably was ignoring his wife. She probably thought, I'll top this for hell, I'm going somewhere else, yeah. I've never had a laptop. I've never had one. I've always had a big PC, the desk, well. But it's a little bit awkward if I wanted to use it in the shed or something like that. I've only got a little Kindle, and it's the tiniest Kindle possible. It's only a little Kindle. And I've only got my phone, which is, it's got a glitch on it, which I'm hoping to sort out on Monday. It's got a glitch. So the screen on this is so tiny, let me just see if there's a YouTube on it. No, hang on, let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of it. Go away, go away, go away, go away. It'll kick me off because it does. Yeah, it's done it again. It's kicked me off. Yeah, that's how big my screen is on here. Yeah. So, it's a bit hard to watch anything. So I'm watching myself. But it keeps kicking me off because I've got a glitch on it. Oh, we can all give an illusion about a happy family, can't we? If we want to, Rick. I could tell you my life was hunky-dory and happy, 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 but it's not. We've all got our problems, haven't we? We can all be fake on YouTube, I think. There must be a lot of fake people on YouTube, I think. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of fake people in the world, isn't there? You think, oh my gosh, they're so happy. There can be a celebrity couple and they're all over each other. They're on Hello Magazine, they're on OK Magazine, they're posing and everything. The next minute they're split up, all gone their separate ways. It's all fake and phony, isn't it, these days? All for the sake of a camera. Yeah, they only share happy bits. They don't share their arguments. Well, unless you Harry. But most people only show the happy bits, don't they? They see their wonderful house, which is probably not their house. It's probably a house that is rented just so they can sit in it, You probably find they don't live there at all. They've always got, like, say, 4 kids, haven't they? And they have a house with white carpet, and you know that is not going to happen, don't you? Couple of dogs, 4 kids, white carpet, not going to happen. So they've rented that house for the day. They probably live somewhere else, don't they, with a carpet that's full of stains of Ribena and stuff. Yeah. All right, good night, Isaac. Say hello to the pigeons for me and your mum. I love your mum. Say hello to your mum. Your mum is a character. She is brilliant. I love your mum. If you don't know Isaac's mum, you're missing something. She is a character. Yeah. In a nice way. I don't mean in an awful way. I mean a nice way. Right. Hello, Mum. Your mum is the kind of person I wish I lived near. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of people I wish I lived near, because I don't live near anybody. Everybody loves your mum. I'm not surprised. She's that kind of woman. Yeah. Yeah. I only know her through Facebook. That's all I know her through, but she just seems like a really nice lady. There's so many nice people I would love to live near. I'd love to live near Tracy, Crochet Rocks. Love to live near her. A lot of people I'd love to live near. Denise Deer. I'd like to be near Denise, to meet up with Denise. Linda Simpson. I have met Linda. Actually, I met her at, what was it at? Skipton. Yeah, Skipton. I met her. I think, yeah. There's lots of people I see on there. I haven't watched that, My Crazy Life Scotland. I'd like to meet Little Drops of Wonderful Ali, yeah. Ali. I'd like to meet her. I have met Catherine, from Crafternoon Treats. I have met Catherine. I've met Claire from Crochet with Claire. They're all people I would love to live near because, the characters, aren't they? Yeah. I'd love to visit with Alt Knots, even though she's weird and wonderful. I would love to. And there's another lady, she's a Fender Style Lady Creations. She does all these weird and wonderful crochet, yeah. I'd love to meet people like that. You never will, don't you? Because they're big Facebook people. But like I say, half of them are in America, so I know I'll never meet them. But the people in the UK, I still would love to meet some of them, ever, anytime, anytime soon. Yeah. Oh, she's back again, is our Rosie. Rosie, sweetheart, there's nobody here on here, so she's sitting on the sofa. She's gone to sit on the sofa. She obviously likes being... The fire's been on, so it's nice and warm. Yeah. Do you have any idols that you would love to meet? You know, in the crochet community, I don't mean people off the street. You know, the crochet and knit community. Anybody that you really, really admire and you wish you could meet them. Yeah. Yeah, I would have known that you would pick a YouTuber. Somebody that's into that sort of thing. My crochet or knitting buddies, my crafting buddies, is there anybody that you would wish you would bump into, meet, say hello to? Yeah. Well, I'd love to meet Z, of course. Zelda NRJ3. I'd love to meet Z. A screenwriter or a film producer. Oh, God, now I can hear the noise from upstairs. Because Rosie, you've opened the door, darling. You've opened the door. Are you staying or going? What are you doing, Rosie? Are you staying or going? Looks like she's staying. Oh, Kim, yeah, Blue Cherub, yeah. She sounds like a very nice lady, doesn't she? Or, what's the other lady called? She used to crochet a lot, but now she doesn't much. I think she's called Karen. I've spoken to her quite a lot. I've met Zoe, 24 Carat Crochet. Met Zoe. Oh, another lady's that one, that Attic 24. The one who does all the beautiful crochet. I don't do crochet blankets, but I do love the way she uses the colours. I would like to bump it to meet her. I have met Janie Crowfoot, or Janie Crow, the one who does the Persian tiles and stuff like that, but I didn't meet her to speak to. I just met her. I can't think of anybody else who I'd love to meet. Oh, Jay. She's lovely, isn't she? Yeah. What's she called? Joyce, I think she's called, yeah. Little Drops are wonderful. She's great, yeah. Yeah. Ali, yeah. How did I know you'd have to write something like that? It's a wonder you haven't made up a video game knowing you. Oh, what? Who's talking to me now? Who's sending me messages? Nobody. Oh, yeah. It's not behaving itself. My phone is just being stupid again. It's telling me I've got messages and it's not showing me any of them. No, I don't want Instagram. It's telling me I've got 4 messages and it's being stupid. No, I don't know who it is. No idea. Can't see them, whoever it is. This is what happened when that lady sent me a message. Because I can't get to any of my messages. It's from Lizzie. Greek Stitcher. She called Greek Stitcher. Oh, you'd like to meet me? Well, I'm available. If ever you were in Fleetwood, let me know. I am available at no extra cost. Hatcher me, did you? Well, yeah. We haven't got any dirt to ditch, though, really, have we? If I did, I wouldn't do it. If I had any, dirt on anybody, I just wouldn't do it. It's not in my conscience. I would have been the perfect girlfriend for a rock star when I was younger because I wouldn't have told the story. I wouldn't have sold my story to the papers, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, Jill from Fibre Floozy. Yeah, if ever you get to Texas way somewhere. I think she's in Texas. Yeah. I don't know why. See, my phone, it just won't. It's just being stupid. No, when you try to pull the messages down, it's just saying they're not there. It's telling me all across the top I've got those messages. And yet it won't let me look at them. So I don't know who sent me messages and I don't know what they are. Facebook? No, I don't know what it is. No idea. I shall never know. I shall always be in suspenders because I shall never know. Yeah, she's in Texas, isn't she? Yeah. I'll never get to Texas. Fibre spider, not one on my list. His voice just, I don't know what there is about him. I don't know if it's his accent or what it is. His voice just great. It's like Mikey from Crochet Crowd. Everybody thinks he's absolutely wonderful. I can't watch him. Can't watch him. His voice. Yeah, there's certain people. You could meet him if you want, Denise. Not on my list. I'd meet up with Joe. No problem. Shad, we could meet up with Shad. I don't know where he is. And Chris. We could do a guided tour. Yeah. Purple track. I've done. Oh, I've turned it off. I've turned it on. It's been to 2 phone shops completely so far. And power off. We'll try it anyway. It's not even switching it off. It's not even switching itself off now. As I say, it's been to 2. Now it's just jammed. It's been to 2 phone shops and they couldn't do anything about it. Starting up again now. It'll go, hello, moto. Any minute now. Rosie, what are you doing? Rosie, stop it. She's digging a hole in my sofa.
Hello, Moto.
Hello, moto. I don't know why she's digging a hole in my sofa. No service. EE plus net. Backing up 5 photos, which I haven't put on there, so I don't know why it's backing up 5 photos. Or whatever the message are, live all this pain. That didn't work, Susan. All the messages that were on there have all disappeared now. That's what happened. A lady sent me a message asking me about one of my sweater things that I'd made. She wanted to buy it, I think. But the message just vanished before I could answer her. So I can't remember who she was. I think she was in Canada, but I'm not sure. So I just hope she sees me mentioning her on here or on my other video. and says, it was me, and sends me another message because I don't know where it was. I thought it might have been on Instagram. I looked on there, can't find it. I looked if it was on my messages on the Facebook. It wasn't there. It's all right, Susan. I probably wouldn't have been able to read them anyway, so don't worry about it. My phone's got a glitch. Every time I try to do anything like this, it just wipes the screen off and starts all over again. To send anybody a message on my phone, it takes me about 5 attempts because it keeps shutting up. My friend's going to take it back to factory settings for me on Monday, hopefully. If my scooter man comes early enough, then I can actually get to my knitting club, Then she will take everything off my phone and put it on her laptop, take my phone back to factory settings, and then put everything back on my phone again. Because the phone people who've been looking at it seem to think it's some kind of a bug. And they said the only thing they can do is wipe it. So we shall see. I don't feel like paying for a new phone. I've not even had this 12 months. I don't feel like getting another new phone. Because if I get a new phone and I put the SIM card in, it might go onto my other phone, my new one. If it's a bug, some description. It keeps telling me I've got to give permission for some SMS. And everybody that's looked through my phone saying you're giving permission to everybody that you need to. So why is it saying it? I'm going, I don't know. Anyway, I Googled it and they said it's some kind of a bug thing that's come on it. A glitch thing. I think it's something to do with Google Play, but I'm not too sure. I've tried to wipe off Google Play, but I don't add things to my phone. This is why I can't understand why it's happened, because it's not as if I do. I'm not one that plays games or mucks about or clicks on icons, and I don't do that. I don't play games on it. You know, some people have got all sorts of apps on their phone. I haven't. So I don't understand why it is happening. Recent. Required permission to access SMS is missing. Please grant permission. That's what it keeps telling me. Every time I look at anything. It's at the bottom of there. Oops, it's gone again. It'll wipe off in a minute. Tell me the message. No, it's not doing it at the minute, but it will do. No, it's not doing it. Just because I wanted to do it. Hi, Lizzie. I'm just explaining about my phone going doolally. I've tried granting it. It won't let me grant it. I've tried looking in all my accesses. Not me. 2 phone shops have done it. Tried looking in all the SMSs and the messages and things, and they say I've not denied any access to any of them. And I'm not reading mean tweets. I'm trying to sort out what's wrong with this flipping phone. I don't know how to take things off it and put it on PC. I don't know how to do that. My son, of course, is ever helpful, says, oh, yeah, you can do it. It's dead easy. You've got to read the instructions and it'll tell you what to do. Talking to somebody who doesn't know anything. Anyway, my friend's taking pity on me, so hopefully my scooter will come before lunch on Monday. And then provided, of course, the family are not going out, because I've got a redirected parcel that they didn't hear the post. I went out on Thursday for the first time since day before Christmas Eve, and they tried to deliver a parcel. And of course, nobody was in. So the parcel went back to the post office. So the first day they can deliver it again now is Monday. So I'm scared of going out again in case I miss the parcel again. Because they're closing down our office. I don't know where we're having to go to. Maybe Blackpool or somewhere. SMS, it's something to do with a messaging service, I think. Yeah. Mean tweets. I don't do tweets. I don't do Twitter. I don't Twitter, and I don't, what's that other one? TikTok. Oh, it's Facebook Messenger, is it? SMS. I've got all the permissions granted on it, Susan, so I don't know why it's telling me. 2 phone companies, 2 phone shops have looked at it and can't find any denied permissions on it. So I don't know what it's all about. Don't know what it's all about, and nobody else seems to know either. My friend who's a whiz on computers, she tried to do it and she didn't know either. She said, all your permissions are granted. She said, I don't know why it's telling you that. I said, I don't know either. And I don't want to buy a new phone. I haven't had this one 12 months. I know it wasn't a very, very expensive one. It was about 100 and something, but I'm still not. I'm not into these Apple phones and God knows what phones and phones you tell you, you know, what your heartbeat is and stuff like that. Phones that, you know, tell you when somebody's, you know, I'm not into all that sort of stuff, as you probably gathered. I'm what is called clueless, yeah. That's the same conversation my son has. You must have clicked on something. What did you click on? I mean, the other week it went on for, short messaging service. I don't know what that is. So I know I haven't. How do I grant permission to something I don't even know what? Yeah. I've only got an Android, Susan. I haven't got anything posh. The other week I turned on, you know, like for the visually impaired, and it kept talking to me. You pressed Facebook. Do you want to know what your messages are on Facebook? Like, no, I didn't press on that. So luckily I was in the library with my friend and I went, so she took it off for me. She said, you must have pressed on something. I said, well, I don't know what I pressed on. I didn't mean to. Oh, this is just an ordinary Android one. I've only got that pay-as-you-go type of thing, you know. I don't want a fancy one that's so many pounds a month. You know, the one that'll answer the door for you, make your cup of tea. No, I don't want one of them. I only do messages, really, and answer phone calls on it. It's got YouTube on it, but I didn't put it on it. But I don't use it on here because it just uses up your power, doesn't it? Oh, well, you see, you go into it. You have all these, you want to use that sort of stuff. I don't. I'd be paying for things I'm not using. You know, I mean, my niece has got an all singing, all dancing phone. You know, she can pay bills with it and stuff, you know. Doop, doop, doop. But, yeah, a friend of mine said, oh, you can rent an iPad. It's only so much a month. And I'm like, no, I don't want one that's so much a month. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I just want an ordinary tablet. My friend knows more about them than me. I said, well, you look for me. She goes, oh, you don't have to pay the price of curries. Because I said, I looked at them in curries and you're talking £1,000, you know, or, you know, plus. I don't do gaming, you know, I don't. It's not something that I think you're either interested in gaming or you're not, and I'm not. Yeah, it's like you're not interested in crocheting, Rick, but you're interested in gaming. But I'm not. You know, I've never. Even when my son had those Xbox thingies in the first place, my reflexes were never quick enough to play the games. I got killed. Within the first 2 seconds of playing any game. I couldn't up over things that, I'm talking way back when my son was little. I mean, he's 53 now, so you can tell how long ago I'm talking about. But when, you had them little Mario things that jumped up and down, I'm not quick enough. Yeah. Yeah, I just want Super Mario, yeah, and Sonic the Hedgehog, or that Pac-Man thing. Dum, 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 dum. I got killed every time. My son would say, "You're not fast enough, you're not quick enough, Mum, jump, jump, jump," He used to get so irritated with me. He'd be about, oh, hello, it's gone mad again. Be about 8 or, oh, shush. What are you doing to me? Thomas Harry wants to send me a message. No, thank you. No, thank you. Could be one of them weird, I think you're gorgeous and all that. Go away. Yeah, I'm going to fall for that. Like, not. Yeah. Yeah, all I really want it for is to do videos elsewhere than here. Yeah. To do live videos somewhere else. Because my phone's rubbish, and it's only about that big anyway. And it would probably die anyway. It wouldn't stay charged up long enough to do anything. I just want to be able to do videos while I'm out and about, or, do live videos from the shed, or live videos from the garden if it's a nice day. Not to have to be, glued to this big PC. It would be nice to be out and about and just do a sort of impromptu live somewhere. That's what I want it for. Or even, watch things in my bedroom that's bigger than a 2-inch screen. I've got a Kindle, but it's one of the very first ones, the tiny ones, yeah. So it's not very big. You can switch it to make it into that size of a screen, but whenever I do that, I can never get it to go back again. I'm stuck with it like that, and then I can't go to the next video because I can't go back to the... Oh, I tell you, I'm hopeless. Hopeless. So I tend to leave it with the small screen so I can, go on to the next one. It's great. This should do computer for the dummies, Like there should be a class where you could go. Frozen again. Frozen. My internet is rubbish tonight. My internet's rubbish tonight. It just keeps freezing on me. Yeah. Yeah, my friend's going to help me because I don't know what I'm buying. I really don't know what I'm buying. I'll buy the worst one on the block, because I think it's a good deal. And then my son will say, "What did you buy that for?" And you're like, "Well, if you helped me and told me which one I should be buying, then it would help, wouldn't it?" But no, he's like, "Oh, you look, you." And then when I buy something, it's always wrong. What did you buy that for? Because you didn't help me. Why do you always want me to help you with anything? You should do things by yourself. You just don't want to try because you're lazy. You just don't want to look because you're lazy. That's all I get from him. So I've given over asking him now. You're making a granny square sweater. Yeah. Oh, they all said that. My son will not help me with anything. He just won't. He's just a pain in the backside. One day he'll be old And one day he'll have technology that he doesn't understand. And I hope that nobody helps him. I just hope nobody helps him. I just hope he struggles. Then he will know exactly how his poor mother felt. Yeah. Yeah. I've got spots coming. Oh dear. No, well, I wouldn't have thought. And then I get, after the event and it's all gone pear shaped, I get, well, why didn't you ask me then? And I'm like, I did. It's got so I won't even ask him for anything now. I won't even ask him for a lift. I won't ask him for nothing. I'll struggle. And I do it myself. I'll struggle. Because I just won't ask him anymore. And it's awful when you can't even ask your own kid, isn't it? To help you with something. You know. Yeah, I get. You know, I was the one who took him everywhere when he was a kid. And even when he grew up, I was the one who ran him to the pub. And then I'd get a phone call, can you pick me up again? I'd have to put my clothes, I'd have my nightie on or something. I'd have to put my clothes back on again and go and pick him up from the blooming pub. You know, he forgets all of that, don't he? You know. I used to run him A, B, C, D, you know, run him here, run him there, lend him money, do whatever, do his washing. Can you wash and iron this for me, Mum? I need it tonight. They forget. No, you can, yeah, they forget all what you did for them when they were growing up, don't they? They forget all of that, all out the head. The fact you were mummy's taxi, you know. You were the person that they could always fall back on. You were the person who could always lend them a tenner. You know, you were the person who used to bail them out from whatever they happened to be, whether they were stuck somewhere they couldn't get home again. I've picked my son up from the most bizarre places in my life, yeah. You know, I've been in bed sometimes and he'd rung me, Mum. You have to get out of bed, put your clothes on, go and pick him up, you know. But all that's forgotten. All that's... I daren't have asked my parents for stuff like that. I daren't. I've always had to stand on my own 2 feet, yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true, honestly with you. It's true, yeah. You know, kids are ungrateful. They really are ungrateful. You know. I was always grateful for my parents because I could never have brought my son up on my own. Yes, I was married, but I brought him up on my own, if you know what I mean. That's another story. But for my parents, I could never have brought him up. I couldn't have managed. I couldn't have done it. Couldn't have worked. Couldn't have brought him up. So I valued my parents, if you know what I mean. Yeah. When my mum was old, I used to have to pick her up, wheelchair and all, and everything. Pick her up, take her to see my dad, take her back again. You know, here, there, everywhere. Pick her dinner up, go and take it down to the bungalow, even though it was in the middle of the day and I had to shut the shop. Don't think he'd do anything like that for me. Yeah. But you did it because it was your parents, didn't you? If your mum wanted a loaf and it was in the middle of the day and she wanted a loaf right there and then, you had to go and get the bread and go and take it down. Shut the shop, do whatever. Go take the bread to your mother, yeah. Because you did. You didn't question it. You didn't. Privately, I might have been, mother, you took your time. But I just went and did it, you know. She'd ring me up. I want to go and see your dad because my dad was in a nursing home, as you know, he had cancer. So I'd have to stop what I was doing, go and get the car, go and run to where her house was. Putting her in the car was a work of art because she was never ready and she used to walk so slowly and she was, you know. So I'd have to fold up the wheelchair, put the wheelchair in the boot, you know, put my mum in the car, take my mum to the nursing home. Oh, you are coming in, aren't you? Because I can't push myself in. So I'd have to put her in the wheelchair, push her in, say hello to my dad, come back out again, drive back to the shop. And then about an hour later, I get a phone call from the matron or whatever. Your mum wants to go home again. Can you come and pick her up? Back again I go. I did that for about 12 months of my life. You know, but you do it, don't you? You just do it. Yeah. Hey. They don't have respect, I don't think. We had total respect, I think, for our parents. We had, I won't say a debt of gratitude, that's the wrong word, but you knew you owed your parents, didn't you? We were brought up that you owed it to your parents to do things for them. You owed it, it was your duty. But I think today's generations are very, very selfish. I hate to say that, but they're so selfish. The parents are a nuisance. Parents are just something that they can shove in an old folks' home and forget about. They just don't have the same ethics that we had. I mean, my grandma's never went in a home or anything. The family took care of them. You know, it was never even. I mean, my dad wouldn't have gone into a nursing home, but for the fact he had cancer and dementia, and we just could not cope. You know, we coped and coped until we couldn't cope any longer with him, and we had to put him in a home. We didn't want to. We fought against it, but you know, in the end, we just could not cope anymore with him. He was climbing out of windows. You know, when we locked him in to stop him going out half dressed and stuff. You know, he didn't know where he was. He didn't know what he was doing. He would wander off, and you know, we'd lock the front door to keep him in, and he'd climb out the bungalow window. You know, and he'd be not dressed or. It was a terrible time. Yeah. Hi, Jane. But as I say, you do it, don't you? Because it's your parents and you do it, yeah. But I don't think anybody do it for me. They'd bung me in a home and leave me there. Still, who knows? What a subject to get onto at 11:30 at night. Oh dear. I'm getting tired now. And yet when I get in bed, I'll be wide awake. I get in bed and I'll be on the tablet, you know, or not the tablet, the Kindle, trying to watch somebody on the, you know, trying to catch up with what I've missed. Yeah. What did you miss? Oh, I don't know. Lots and lots and lots of stuff. We've been discussing all kinds of things, Jane. It's a bit too much involved to go through all what we've missed. I was the one who was talking, so I can't remember what I was talking about. Proper utter rubbish, but you know, so I can't tell you what you've missed. Probably a load of tripe is what you've missed. Oh yeah. There's always crochet nutcrackers and crochet all sorts of things, and I always think, Jane, they will associate you forever with nutcrackers. I didn't have the purple drink tonight. Purple? I can't find any more of the dandelion and burdock, if that's what you mean. They didn't have them in the store the last few times I've been. The dandelion and burdock. So now I'm on orange, because that's all I could find. I've got a twirl now. Oh, Rosie's left me. Rosie's now gone upstairs and left me. No, she hasn't gone upstairs to leave me. She's gone into the snug. And I don't know why. Oh, I've got my foot stuck. There's no room in this house at all. Oh, I've gone fuzzy now. She's gone upstairs now. Oh, 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 oh. Oh my goodness, I'm getting old. I am getting so old. So old it's untrue. Oh. Has anybody got any new knees? Has anybody got any new knees? I need some new knees. Well, I've already got one new one, but it didn't work. Oh, I know. Where did he get a gun from? If it was a he or a she. Where on earth did they get a gun from at 6 years old? It's what for sale, my new knees. Oh, the Crochet Nutcrackers. It was something to do with Mikey from the Crochet crowd. Those two massive, massive Crochet Nutcrackers. And I put it on our page on Facebook. And I said, I bet Jane would like these. They were huge things, they were. What was his parents thinking about leaving a gun around for a kid to pick up? Thought they're supposed to keep them under lock and key. Very irresponsible. But then you see, I don't understand. I don't understand gun laws. I don't understand why people have guns. But I'm not brought up in America. Oh, I usually watch Llama Mama Kayla. I must have missed that one, unless it's one of the later ones. We're getting to have guns here, which we shouldn't have because we don't have only farmers, I think, really, and people who have are in gun clubs should have guns over here. But there's still guns around, as you know. People are getting shot in the UK, which they're all illegal guns because you're not allowed to go in and buy a gun like you are in America. I mean, any Tom, Dick and Harry can buy one in America, so I understand. You know, want a gun? Oh, come in, come in. They don't check if you've got criminal backgrounds or anything like that. Oh, I saw that haul from Ollie's, but I got fed up halfway through it because she was just like trawling down, you know, all these aisles and aisles and aisles, and I got a bit fed up with it, so I stopped halfway through. That's probably why I didn't see it, Denise. No, you'd have to watch that, what's she called, Llama Mama Kayla, her video. The one where she's talking about going to Ollie's. I presume that's the one that Denise means. I watched half of the video, but I got bored with going down all these aisles and going down all these aisles, and I got fed up. So I stopped watching it halfway through. Wasn't much wool though, was there, Denise? It was a bit scrappy on the wool, weren't it? And those one when it was all knotted up, and I think that's as far as I watched it, when it was all tangled up in a great big lumpy mess. Yeah, I don't know which book it was, Jane. You'd have to watch the video, unless Denise knows what it was called. As I say, I got bored halfway through the video, yeah. All right, no, I didn't get as far as when she got home. She was still trolling up and down the alleyways when I got fed up. Yeah, there was a big wire net thing full of wool, and it was all in a mess. You would have thought somebody in the store would have wound it up, wouldn't you, and did it, but they're never going to sell it looking like that, are they? It was just a great mess, like somebody had gone like that with it, like some kid had had a field day with it. Mandy, I watched a video with Tracy Crochet Rock. She went into Hobby. What's the one we've got? Hobby. That's not Hobby Lobby. We've got a Hobby Craft, I think it was. And some of the balls of wool on the shelves, she was saying, "Look at this! Somebody's messed this up." And they'd look, and you feel like, stop touching stuff like that. Stop messing with it. Leave it alone. Things don't get like that on their own, do they? Why do you maul them about? Why do you break the labels and maul them about and then put them back on the shelf? Yeah, I know the video name. It was Llama Mama Kayla. And it would Come With Me to Ollie's or something. Oh, I've frozen again. Oh, no, I'm not frozen again. Well, if you knew the name of the magazine, you might be able to get it, Jane. As I say, I didn't see that bit. I didn't stay long enough to see that bit. One other person I'd like to meet is that Not Quite Enough Yarn, Leslie. She's like good fun, isn't she? Do you ever watch her? She's good fun. Forgotten about her. I watch her all the time. I tend not to watch ones that just do knitting all the time because I've not been knitting for a long time. So I tend not to watch the ones who only do knitting. I used to watch a bloke called John the Beardy Shield, but he hasn't made any videos for a couple of years now. I don't know what happened to him, whether he was up in Scotland. Well, Leslie, she's so funny, isn't she, Leslie? Did you watch her at Christmas when she was singing every time, when she was putting new words to the carols? She was so funny. Oh, God, no. Can't give him the time of day. I don't want to watch that interview. I've no patience with him. No time for him at all. I don't want to know. I'd rather just erase the whole thing from my brain. No doubt somebody will be watching it. You don't need to watch it because they just bombard you with it. That's why I don't like turning the telly on. I don't want to know. Don't give him publicity. Just leave him alone. He wants to be incognito. Let him. Oh, 4 in a bed. I can't be standing with that. No. Can't stand that. Oh, nothing's his fault. No, they won't admit to nothing. Goody Two Shoes and his wife. Oh, yeah. There's always two sides to everything. If he got knocked into the dog bowl, he probably said something that made his brother retaliate. Because you know what brothers are like. They're always fighting, aren't they, brothers? But why make a book about it? I've got no interest in either of them, to be quite honest with you. I wish they'd just disappear. Go and live in the Philippines or something, you know. I tell you what, he wouldn't have landed in the dog bowl if it had been me. He'd have had no teeth in his head. He'd have been wanting Turkish teeth, you know, he'd have been going to the dentist. Brothers fight, brothers fall out. It's just normal. But you don't go around bleating about it every... Oh, it gets on my nerves. Oh, he's put his foot right in it there, hasn't he? Like the Taliban have not got... He might as well just paint a target on his head, mightn't he? You don't brag about things like that. What do I watch nowadays on TV? Call the Midwife. I'll be watching that tomorrow. I watched Death in Paradise. I've been watching Susan Calman cruising. I've been watching Jane McDonald cruising. I've been watching, oh God, that other series. What's it called? Set in Provence. It's, can't think of its name. That's what I've been watching. Definitely not Ginger Whinger. Can't be coping with him. No. Who knows, Jane? Who knows? I hope they don't boot him out. Don't want him back. We could stay there. He'd have to come back on. A Year in Provence, that's the one I've been watching now. He'd have to come back on a rubber dinghy as far as I'm concerned, yeah, with her paddling. Yeah, well, I'll be watching Call the Midwife tomorrow, yeah. We'll see. What else have I been watching? I missed Death in Paradise. I need to catch up with it on Catch Up on BBC. I missed the first episode because I was watching Susan Calman on the other side. I'm trying to think what else I've been watching. I watch a few things. They're mostly oldies. I'm waiting for the new Vera coming. New episodes of Vera should be starting soon, shouldn't they? I like Vera. Oh, I watched Riptide, but it was a bit weird, that, wasn't it? Is it called Riptide? There was 4 episodes of that where they thought he got lost on his surfboard, but it all turned to be a bit more complex than that, yeah. Oh, I watched Vera, even though I've watched them 3 times before. The same with Frost, I watched that as well. And I watch, oh my God, what's he called? Linley, Dr. Linley Mysteries. Inspector Linley Mysteries. I watched all them before, but I watched them again. Oh, Midsummer, yeah, watch all of them, yeah. I never got into All Creatures Great and Small. I did the very, very first lot, where it was Christopher Timothy and all them. I did the very, very first lot, but the newer ones, no, I'm not getting to them. You know what, it was Linda Bellingham and Christopher Timothy, was he called, yeah. I watched it all then, but I haven't watched the newer ones. Have I got any on DVD? I can't play any DVDs. I've not got a DVD player at the moment, yeah. Oh, I've not watched that one. Hello, Rosita. How are you today? Oh, I still watch Last of the Summer Wine. It's brilliant, that, yeah. Yeah. How's the weather in the Philippines, Rose? I haven't watched Two Doors Down. No, I haven't watched it. Sherlock Holmes. I'm not as keen on the newer one where he's like in more modern day. I'm not as keen on that. I tend to stick with the oldies, the goldies and the goodies, yeah. I thought I got an orb, but then I realised it's my flower. My flower lamp twinkling. I could just see that little thing keep going over my head. I always write Who Do You Think You Are? And there's a new one, isn't there now? I can't remember what it's called now. But it goes back into the past of where they lived and who lived in the houses before them, and what the history of the house was. They did, what's she called, that woman who does, she was married to the cook. Oh, oh God, I can't remember his name. Phil Vickery she was married to. Well, they went back to her childhood and the house that she was brought up in. Her father was an actor, a TV screen actor. Oh God, what's she called? Tony. Somebody was her dad. Oh, she married Phil Vickery when she's divorced now. But she went back to her house that she was brought up in, and then they went back into the history of the house and the history of where she was brought up and all things like that. So they're doing a different person each week. I don't know who this woman is they're doing this coming Wednesday. It's somebody from Manchester, but I don't quite know who she is. She's obviously somebody important, otherwise they wouldn't be doing her, would they? But I'll be watching it because it's about Manchester, so I'll be watching that. I like watching things like that, like Who Do You Think You Are and DNA Story and stuff like that. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Amanda. Did you send me a message, Amanda? Because if you did, I've lost it. I'm trying to find out who sent me a message because I read it once and then I was going, you did? Oh, I read it and I don't know where it went. And I looked for it the other day and I can't find it. So I'm sorry I didn't answer you, but I've lost the message. So you'll have to send it me. I don't know where you sent it me. Did you send it me on Instagram or where did you send it? Because I can't find it. I've either deleted it by accident. I wasn't well when I read it, and I was in a bit of a fuzzy state. And I remember reading it, thinking I'll answer it tomorrow, and then I can't find the message. So I do. You sent it me on Facebook. You'll have to send it again because I've lost it completely, which is not surprising with the state of my Facebook. So I would have answered you, but and I thought, because I said to another lady that was called Amanda on here, I said, "Did you send me a message?" I said, "I'm sure it was somebody called Amanda," and she said, "No, it wasn't me." So it was you. I solved the problem of who it was. Mm-hmm. I knew it was somebody who'd asked me to be friends with them. And then they sent me a message, and I thought, I'll do that tomorrow. But it's not actually raining here at the minute. Hang the flag out. I don't think it is anyway. No, it's not raining. It's windy, but it's not raining. Mm. Small team, big world. I saw that advertised. I haven't watched it though. We've had rain, 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 more rain, more rain, and rain, and rain. And guess what? It's raining. It wasn't actually raining today. It was like, hoist the flag. Hoist the flag up the main brace. It's not raining. It says heavy rain, actually, at the bottom of my little screen here. It says heavy rain. Let's see what it says. No, it's not showing me. Huh. Yeah, heavy rain now. Oh, it says here, royal biographer perplexed by Prince Harry's memoir. I'm not surprised. He's probably thinking, what the heck? You've got light snow. We had a bit of sleet one day. It would be because I was in the scooter one day. I'm getting a scooter on Monday. Jolly D. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully I will make a video showing my new scooter. So I'm hoping it comes before lunch. And I'm hoping I can get to the library. But I'm expecting a parcel. So I've got to make sure my family are not going out because this parcel's been returned once already and I don't want to miss it again. So if they're going to say they're going out, then I'm going to have to stay in. Because the other day when I said it was coming and I told him it was coming, and my daughter-in-law took the dog a walk, missed it. I mean, that postman always comes about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, so I don't know why she had to go out then. Well, if she's planning on going out on Monday, taking the dog a walk, I'm not missing my parcel again. I'll have to stay in. So it's a bugger when you have to stop in, isn't it? I miss my old house. It had a porch that was never locked, and the postman always just popped it in the porch for me. There was none of this, I missed you and all that stuff. I can't go out. I can't go to the light. I can't. If I meet my friend at the cafe's internet is rubbish, so she can't do it for me in the internet at the cafe. Unless we can find a different cafe to meet up with. Because I could go out on the Tuesday. Oh gosh, he's bringing me two. He's bringing me two to look at, so I'm going to test them up and down the bumpy bits. Oh God, I can't wait to get rid of that squeaking thing. I hope he's brought his screwdriver to take the lid off. Oh, I don't want one that flies in the air, no. I'm not I'm walking in the air. I just want one with the top on, so I don't get... The Pokemobile is going. It's going, gone. I want the one I wanted in the first place. The one I wanted in the first place has got like a sloping, like that it is. Not... It's more like a motorbike sidecar, the sloping, like that shape. Like a teardrop. You've seen the teardrop trailers, yeah? Teardrop, that shape. That's what it's like. But the Pokemobile, you could stand up in it and drive it, that tall. And it squeak, squeak, squeak. It drove me nuts. And not only that, I didn't feel safe in it. I thought it was going to tip over at any minute. It was too tall. It's been parked up ever since. I've not used it. That's how bad it is. It's been pouring down with rain and I've not used it. I just won't use it. Oh, I'm giving him the poke and beer, but he's taking that thing back. That's one thing he is taking back. I was ready for a fight when I rung him up on Wednesday. I was ready. I was raring. And he picked up the phone and he went, "Hi, Jan." He said, "I was just going to ring you. I'm bringing him a scooter on Monday." I was like, I was ready to be full. And he took the wind completely out of my sails, yeah. The booklet for the poke and beer. Yeah, and I need to take the mirror off it as well. I bought a mirror, like a rear view mirror. I need to take that off before he comes. He's not having that. Not having my rear view mirror. Because I might need it for this new one anyway. Because when your back view is a bit more limited, they have these electric scooters and electric bikes that are allowed on the seafront. And they zoom up behind you. And if your wing mirrors are not that clever and you can't see them coming, you buy these cans, do you? Yeah. The Orange Zero. I think they're probably Little Special, are they, or Oldie Special? Hello, John. Happy New Year to you. We've got no Kaz tonight. We've not seen Kaz today. So you can't say hello to Kaz tonight. She's not been on. I don't know if she's working or what, but she's not been on. No, I don't like pineapple. If it's pineapple, Nathan, I wouldn't like them. It's one of the only fruits I don't like. Yeah, one of the only ones I don't like is pineapple. One of the only fruits I don't like. Any other fruit I eat. It's just pineapples. I just don't eat pineapple. Oh, and avocados. Are they fruits? I don't eat avocados. You represent the West Coast. I represent the coast, the seaside, the concrete jungle. I'm going to do a video. I really am. When I get this new scooter, to show you how boring it is here by the sea. Oh, there's nothing wrong with Aldi and Lidl now. They're a bit limited with what they can. I do like to get some things from other places because sometimes Lidl and Aldi are a bit samey, yeah. Looks nice in Fleetwood. Where have you been looking? It's depressed and it's deprived and it's full of charity shops and junk shops. And it doesn't have a decent clothes shop, shoe shop, anything decent in Fleetwood. You must be looking at old videos then. I am going to, it'll probably be 2 videos because my video only does half an hour before it cuts off. But I would video from my house to as far as when the video cuts off. And then when it cuts off, it might start up again. And then I would video the next bit when I get to Fleetwood. And you will see just how boring it can be. It'll be see concrete, see concrete, see concrete. Oh, look, a dog walker. See concrete, dog walker. Poo. Spend half my life diverting around poo. Hi, Marie. There's some dirty people around here that don't pick up after their dogs. Oh, they love it because they've got a car. They get out and about, don't they? And the dogs love the seashore. The Top Gear scooter review. Yeah, this is my review. Fleetwood needs an injection of cash. There's no industry here properly. We've got the Fisherman Friend factory, but there's no fishing industry anymore. There is nothing. So there is no like big employer to, give an injection of cash into the area. That's what it's needing. So people would have more money to spend. And if they had more money to spend, you would get better quality shops, if you know what I'm saying. Everywhere, to me, Fleetwood is tatty. It's just run down and tatty. Oh, there's trams, yeah. The tram goes through to Blackpool, yeah. Cleveley's is a little bit more upmarket. You can get some shops in Cleveley's, but I mean, the clothes shop there called, what's it called? It's closing down. There is a Bon Marché. There's no shoe shops in Cleveley's. There's none in Fleetwood. If you go to Affinity, which was known as Freeport, there is a shoe shop there. But the dress shop's closed down. There was a dress shop there, it's closed down, gone. There's sports shops on Affinity, if you want jogging bottoms or something, the shop's there. And there's a shop that sells the outdoor gear, like, the hiking stuff. But actual dresses and things like that, no, nothing there. I'm looking forward to going back to Manchester. How did I move there? I think it must have been a sunny day when we moved. It didn't look that bad. But I never actually saw Fleetwood Town Centre. If I'd have seen that, I wouldn't bother. I'm going back to Manchester for a visit for a week, sometime probably in about March or April. And I'm going to go shopping in Manchester. The shops I love, clothes shops with taste, shoe shops with taste. Going to Berry Market. Can't wait, yeah. No, Blackpool's the party town. Oh, the tacky hen do's and stag do's and Lord knows what else is Blackpool. Blackpool's like a tacky version of, I don't know. People just go there for a certain type of holiday, which wouldn't be my idea of a holiday. I just don't like Blackpool either. I don't know why we moved here. We should have moved somewhere where there was scenery, where there was perhaps a river, there was trees, there was something green to look at. It was pretty. Fishermen's cottages, somewhere nice. I don't know why we moved here. If I win the lottery, I'll be on a rocket, I'll be off out of here. Oh, Lord, Blackpool. The mere thought of Blackpool just gives me the shudders. I've been to it twice. I've been through it a few times because I've had to go on the way to the hospital. But I've actually only been to Blackpool itself twice. And each time I couldn't wait to get home again. Yeah. I don't think I've won the lottery. Let me look. No, four. Oh, now my screen's gone off. I was just trying to see whether I'd won the lottery or not. See whether they'd told me I'd won. Mind, they may not tell me until tomorrow. No, I haven't won the lottery. I don't like four in a bed. I don't like that. Come dine with me. I don't like that. Oh, it's not $1 billion here. A few grand, yeah. It's Sunday, yeah, just about now, yeah. 17 minutes past midnight. Yes, it's Sunday. I've got a lot to do tomorrow, actually. I've got to write the envelopes to send all these photographs off to my relatives. I've got to fill in the form for changing my doctor. What else have I got to do? I've done my washing today, so I've done that bit. Something else I was going to do tomorrow. I mean, the house here is an absolute tip. I've got boxes and boxes all over the floor. If you can see them, that's one box. You can't see the others. You can if I move my chair. Look at all that mess. That's all my photographs and stuff that I brought. Well, my son's brought from upstairs. So it's a mess. Scrounger City, yeah, that's Blackpool. Blackpool's the Scrounger City. All the deadbeats, dropouts, homeless people gravitate to Blackpool for some strange reason. So every door always got some wino there with a can. Fleetwood's not much better. You know, I would think that 50% of the population in Fleetwood isn't working. You know, it's like benefit city, yeah. But to be fair, there is no jobs to be had. You know, unless you were working in a cafe or something like that, there's not much going on there. You know, there's no industry. You know, there used to be fishing industry. There used to be like the frozen fishing industry, all things to do with it. It used to be a thriving port that used to have the ferries that went over to the Isle of Man and went to Ireland. And, you know, they wouldn't pay to have it all dredged. So the outlet thing is silted up. So the ferries and the fishing boats and the trawlers and that can't come into Fleetwood anymore. So it's just died, yeah. What the building trade? Oh, I don't know. You know, the building trade went into a slump really over COVID. I don't know whether it's recovered or not. The new build and that, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, we could do with some new industry in Fleetwood. Honestly, we could. I'd like to know who refused to pay for the silting of you know, it killed Fleetwood. You know, they argued over who would pay for dredging this channel. But because they didn't, all the fishing boats have gone. Like the ferry's gone, it's gone to Heysham now, you know, so they've lost all that trade. People would be coming, wouldn't they, to catch the ferries and that. So it was bringing people in, you know, people who would spend money, people who would be around and about. Same with the fishing industry, you know. But because somebody just wouldn't pay to dredge whatever the argument was way before my time, it's all died. It's just died. The biggest industry is Fisherman's Friend, you know, the ones who make them little cough lozenges. That's the biggest industry around here. I don't think there is any more industry. There used to be McVitie's Biscuits at one time, but I don't think that's there anymore. Yeah. Oh, the EU definitely destroyed the fishing industry. They allowed all the foreign trawlers to come in and pinch all the fish, didn't they? And now the fish is not there anymore. I mean, now we're not in the EU. Why can't we put the borders back, saying that they can't come in our waters anymore? Maybe the fishing industry would. Oh, they love it here, Nathan. They love it. They think it's wonderbar. But they've got a car. They can get out of it, can't they? Oh, it was depressing when we moved in here. I tell you, very, very depressing. The bungalow was far worse state than we thought it was in. The windows leaked. It blew a gale through there were metal windows, blew a gale through here. The central heating didn't work. It was freezing. COVID, everywhere was shut. We couldn't get a tradesperson for love and money. I used to sit and cry and wonder why on earth I'd left a beautiful house. My daughter-in-law goes back every Tuesday. Our government, oh. What are governments like in any place, John? Our government's terrible. But everybody else's government is no better. You can't hold somebody else's government up and say, "Oh, they're doing it right." They're all a pack of thieves and vagabonds, aren't they? Whichever country you live in, the people who are governing us are all thief, 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 all in it for themselves. Yeah, they're all the same. And all the parties are the same. I can't say, "Oh, let's vote this, let's vote that. They're better than this. They're better." They're all the flipping same. When I was young, there was a distinct difference between the parties, the Labour, the Conservative, the Liberal. Now they're all the same. There's not one that you can say, right, they stand for that, they stand for that. It was distinct parties when I was young. You knew where you stood with them. But now they're just all, you don't know who's in Parliament, do you? You don't know who's in and who's out. Yeah, that's what I mean. They're all in it for themselves, Nathan. They're all as bad as each other. I mean, you think, well, if I vote Labour, who is there? They haven't got a strong leader. They haven't got anybody. So who do you vote for? Liberal? Who's the Liberal? Who is it? You know, there's nobody to vote for, John. There isn't, honestly. When I was younger, politicians had a little bit more integrity. They weren't all rich, upper crust whatnots, yeah. There's no difference in any of them anymore now. No difference in a lot of them. And I'm sure it's the same in the US. I'm sure it's no different over there. That whoever you vote for, they're all the flipping same. A Republican, I don't know who's a Republican and a Democrat. I don't even understand it. Where's all the money gone for the NHS? I don't know. Dare I say it, on the illegals and the immigrants and everybody else, but I daren't say that because, of course, I'm a racist if I say things like that. You're not allowed to say things like that. You're not allowed to say, why are we giving billions of money abroad? Why are we doing it? You're not allowed to say that. You just, you know, like England is so rich. You know, like we're tiny. We're a tiny, tiny little island that would fit in one state of America. So why do they think that we've got so much money when we don't? You know, we're practically on our backsides over here. You know, and yet everybody wants to come here, and I don't know why. Why? Because we're soft. That's why they come here. We give them a roof over their head. We give them money. Why? That's why they want to come. Nobody else flipping will have them. Only us muggings lot. Yet you say that, and oh, you're a racist, you're a racist. I'm not a racist, I'm a, what do you call it? Thinking about money, what do they call it? Realist, yeah. I don't care what colour they are, it's just the fact that they're coming over. You know, it's not a question of because they're this colour or that colour or because they come from a certain place that I don't want them. I just don't want them because they don't belong here, you know. Yeah. I mean, France doesn't want them. They keep shoving them over here in a dinghy, don't they? Nobody wants them. They shove them in camps over there. But no, what do? We put them up in a hotel. Yeah. We're balmy. They can't look after their old people. They can't look after the army veterans. You see the army veterans homeless on the street, and yet they'll give a place to live to somebody that's an illegal immigrant, you know, and it really gets on my nerves. I'd like to know how many are refugees or how many just come because they think it's a better life over here. I can understand why they want to leave where they live, but there's only so many. We're full. Well, they're not even educated, half of them, Rick. Honestly, they're not. They're not professional people. They're not like people who could help in this country, that are going to work and be an asset. I mean, when they came over from the West Indies and they came over with Windrush, they came over to work. They came over, they were nurses, they worked on the buses, they worked on the trains. They came over to work. This lot, they haven't come over to work. They've come over for the handouts. They've no intention of getting a job, any of them. They're just here for the handouts, aren't they? They may be refugees, they may be escaping tyranny and God knows what else, but there's only so many people that we can. Yeah. I can remember when we were young, if you wanted to go to Australia or New Zealand, you had to be a skilled person. I remember my friend who I used to work with, her husband was a manager in like a Walmart. He was refused entry into Australia because they said he wasn't a skilled labourer. She could go in because she was a trained nurse, but not her husband. They didn't class him as being a skill because he was a warehouse manager or whatever, a Walmart manager. They didn't want him, so she couldn't go. You know, so why not? Yeah, yeah. It's just free housing, free education, free healthcare, free money, free everything. And yet our pensioners, I mean, not myself, I'm quite lucky in that respect. But the pensioners who have never had a private pension, who live off a state pension, they can't afford the heating, they can't afford to eat, they can't afford anything. Our veterans that come out of the army, there's no place for them to live, there's no jobs for them, there's nothing, unless they're lucky enough to fall into a job. My grandson is lucky because he got his HGV license when he was in the army. So he's gone to be an HGV driver. So he's lucky. So he has a roof over his head and he has got a job. But there's so many of them actually on the street. And yet they don't help them. They're helping some bugger else that's coming. They're putting them up in a hotel here in Blackpool. They actually turned away all the holidaymakers who booked into that hotel because they were housing all these people that they'd stuck in this hotel in Blackpool. And yet you can't say anything. It's just, oh, they're deprived. Oh, you don't know what the circumstances are. All I know is they're living in Blackpool, rent-free, being clothed, fed, whatever, yeah. Taking up hotel space that could be used to bring money into Blackpool. Not that I like Blackpool, but at least it could be bringing money. Yeah. Yeah, but I can remember in Australia, if you had a trade, I don't know what it's like nowadays, but if you didn't have a trade, you could not emigrate to Australia. They didn't want you. You had to pass all these tests and that, otherwise you couldn't go. And another of my cousins tried to go to America. He was a butcher, had his own business, pots of money, loads of money. She did something or other and all that. And could they get a green card? Could they get nothing? They had enough money to buy their own house. They weren't going to go and scrounge off anybody. But they couldn't get a green card. They couldn't go. Yeah. So they never went. They wouldn't have been a drain. They would have worked. Both of them would have worked. Yeah. But the world's wrong, isn't it? They was wrong. Australia still has the point system. I don't blame them. We should. We should. If you don't qualify, you don't get in. Never mind welcoming them in on a dinghy. Shove them back out to sea again. Sorry, mate. Oh, God, we're daft. I mean, one of our politicians has actually started to make moments about doing something about it, but of course he's getting shouted down. You can't do that. Against human rights. What about our human rights? What about us? Do we not have human rights when we can't get in the NHS? When our poor old people are 10 hours on a trolley and people are dying in ambulances outside because there's no room for them in the hospital? You know, what about our human rights? You know, it's one law for them, one law for... Yeah, it's awful. We don't have any human rights, yeah. 4-week wait to see a doctor if you're lucky. I've seen one doctor. 2 years I've been here. One doctor. And even then he was showing me out the door before I got in. If you know what I mean. It was so rude. But you can't see one here. Yeah. I've worked all my life. I've worked from being... Well, I worked in the wool shop from being 12. I know it wasn't full time. I was at school as well. But I worked in the wool shop since I was 12. You know. I've paid in the system. Worked all my life. And yet now, oh, you're old, you're claiming money, you should be dead by now. You know, hang on a minute, you know, I worked all those years, I paid in all those years, and now you're telling me I'm living too long, yeah. I have to pay to see a podiatrist here. I had NHS when I lived in Prestwich. Don't have it here. It's too full. Can't see anybody. End of story. I had free glasses when I was in Prestwich. They don't do it here. Don't do it. You have to pay for everything here. No concessions for your old age pensioners. No concessions at all. You have to go to Specsavers and pay like everybody else. You know. Same with the dentist. You can't get an NHS dentist for lovely money. It cost me £100 and odd the other week to go to the dentist. And all it was I looked at my teeth, took an x-ray and scaled and polished them. And it cost me £100 and something. Yeah. I don't go to the podiatrist anymore. I should do because of me being diabetic. But I just go and have a pedicure now. Because it's cheaper. I'm sure if she saw something on the bottom of my foot, she'd let me know. But I'm not paying, 40 quid to see a podiatrist, chiropodist, whatever you want to call them. If I pay £25 for the pedicure, I get my feet massaged, I get everything. I get my dry skin dealt with, I get my toes painted and everything. So why should I pay 40 quid just to have my toenails clipped? Because that's all he did. Didn't even make a really good job of it. There was no filing my feet. There was no getting rid of any hard skin. There was nothing. He just cut my toenails and charged me 40 quid. I thought, yeah, right. It's difficult. It really is. I don't like to put you off, so what's knitting, but it's difficult. I mean, I gave up my shop because I couldn't afford the business rates, the electrics, everything went up. The business rates, they must think you're on a... They must think that everything that goes in your till is yours. The way they work out the business rates, yeah. No, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't let that put you off, Jane, because that's the best place to go to as a podiatrist. I mean, I'm really lucky in the fact that my feet are pretty good. I've got no corns, no nothing, no bunions, nothing. This is why I just go to the pedicure now. I need to go actually because they're a bit long. They're banging on my shoes now, making me uncomfy. So they're a bit too long at the minute. So I need to book an appointment. That's another thing I need to do next week. Book an appointment for a pedicure. Need to do that. Money, money, money must be funny in a rich man's world. If I had a little money. Oh dear. I'm too old to get a part-time job. In any case, what could I do with my back? Advertise myself as Gypsy Rose Lee and tell fortunes. I'd probably do as much as anybody else, wouldn't I? Because they make it all up as they go along, yeah. I need to go soon as well because it's like 12:30 here. Time for me to go to Moby Bows. And I haven't put my washing away. It's all on the end of my bed. It's not going to get put away tonight. Oh. My bedroom is so small, it's like trying to put 2 pints into a pint pot, yeah. I would believe you. I really would believe you, Lizzie, I would. I mean, I'm so glad I don't have to pay for prescriptions here because I have, about 9 or 10 items here? And it's about £9 an item. So that would be 90 quid every time I have a prescription. Yeah, you're about to doze off. It's only the middle of the afternoon. What are you doing, Rick? You're only a young man. What are you dozing off for? Am I boring you, love? You're going to France taking a dinghy. You can row over to Fleetwood. We'll have you. It's a bit deprived and a bit depressed and you won't find a job. But apart from that, you can row your dinghy into the channel that's silted up, yeah. Just make sure it's a flat bottom dinghy because it won't hold a big boat, yeah. The guy across the road's got a yacht. I could ask him to pick you up, couldn't I? Yeah. Oh, yeah, the West Indies, I've got no problems with anybody in the West Indies because they came over to work and they're entitled to come over to work. I have no quarrels at all with anybody coming from the West Indies because they're not scroungers. Yeah. Well, you're going to get a free pizza when you come. I'd buy you pizza, Lizzie. I'm not that poor. I'd buy you pizza. Not much else, but I'd buy you pizza. You're going to see a friend perform rock music. Well, I hope you stay awake then, Rick, yeah. Man, if it's loud, you will stay awake, won't you? Boom, bang, a bang, boom, bang, a bang. Yeah, but I wasn't having a go at you, love. Nobody from the West Indies is on my hit list. They were all welcome to come. They were asked to come, yeah. So we're talking about the ones who just come over on a dinghy. One of the nurses who delivered my baby was from the West Indies. She was lovely. I can't remember her name now. You want a free pizza? Well, come over on your dinghy, Denise. Some places will welcome you with a pizza, apparently. What they think about our pizzas, I really don't know because they're not that clever. But still. Yeah, we're all cool people. We've just put the world to rights and it won't make a blind bit of difference, whatever we said tonight. If it did, we'd be all right, wouldn't we? Oh, you want a free Stella Artois, do you? Right, okay. A bacon butty from Greg's. Oh, yeah. No, you want one of the pasties or a sausage roll? If you got a dinghy from Ireland to England, what would you get? Probably sent back again, I would imagine, John. I'm still old enough to remember that horrible sign they used to put in people's windows. No blacks, no Irish, no dogs. Yeah, that was terrible. But I'm old enough to remember all that going on. Yeah, that was a terrible. There was no such thing then as human rights and racial equality and stuff like that. There was no such thing back then. You know, it must have been terrible back then. I mean, you know, people today, it's a lot easier for them, I think. I would imagine. I've not been in that position myself, so I can't speak for them, can I? But I would imagine at least it's, you know, not like that now. They don't put signs in the windows like that anymore. I mean, can you imagine coming over to a country and seeing signs like that stuck in windows? It's like, oh yes, come to England, we want you. And then the people who have the houses going, no, go away, stay away, go away. We don't want you. God, you'd get in trouble now if you put up that sign, no immigrants, wouldn't you? No refugees, no immigrants and stuff like that. Can you imagine the trouble that would cause? You'd be, oh, you're not allowed to say that anymore. You're not allowed to say he's or she's or anything like that anymore. They've got to be non-gender and oh dear. You're frightened of opening your mouth these days, yeah? Right, we'll see you next week, Rick. I'm going in a minute anyway because it's much, much past my bedtime. It's all this chatting we've been doing about dinghies and free pizzas and stuff. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, I'm off to go to sleep about and think about my human rights. Yeah. I don't want to be gender neutral, by the way. I'm a she. Yeah. I'm quite happy being a she. I'm not gender neutral. Setter's Place has a tutorial about solid granny squares if you're interested. Oh, goodness me, you would never, in my youth, you would never have been allowed to be gay. Oh, dearie me. That would have been the end of the world if you were gay when I was a kid. Oh, hi, Rose, you're still here. Oh, my God, you would have been persecuted. Oh, my Lord above. It's not a thing to be. I never had that problem, obviously, because I was never gay. But I mean, if I had been, I would have had no end of trouble. You know, thankfully, everything's moved along. You can be what you want to be. I mean, I'm not saying there's not prejudice, because there probably still is. There will always be prejudice of some description in the world. If you're not being prejudiced for your sex, it'll be your colour, it'll be your religion, it'll be something you're prejudiced against. Sadly, in this world, there will always be people who will be prejudiced against something. Yeah. Oh, you're listening while you're folding your clothes. You can come and do mine if you want, Rose. My laundry's on the end of the bed. It needs folding and putting away. But sadly, in this world, there will always be prejudice, and there will always be it. You cannot make people You can try and educate people, but you cannot force them to change what they think inside their heads. Yeah. I know lots and lots of people who say one thing, but I know for a fact they think something completely different. And sadly, that it is changing. It's a lot better than it used to be. It's a lot better in my generation now than it was when I was young. My parents would have never been allowed to have been gay or openly gay. It would have been, unthinkable, unspeakable, unwhateverable. Yeah. So at least it is more, you know, more freer. At least in England we do have freedom of speech. We're allowed to say what we feel. We're allowed to have an opinion. Yeah. Which I think is a good thing. I would hate to live in a country where you are banned from saying certain things. You're not allowed to speak against the government. You're not allowed to speak against whatever. You could get clapped in jail just for opinions. At least here in Britain, we can say what we think. We might not be popular. We might, yeah. But it is freedom of speech. We have got it. And a lot of countries do not have that. We may not agree with what people say. We may have our own opinions about everything, but we're allowed to have them. And we've got that freedom of speech, which I love, that we are allowed to be what we want to be these days, which we never were when I was a kid. Yeah. You hated for being you at work. I mean, I don't know what your age group is, so what's lit in, but if you'd have been my generation, it would have been far, far more difficult for you. Hated would have been a small word. You would have been ostracized. You would have been whatever. You were not allowed. I mean, it's not that long. In my lifetime, homosexuals were put in prison. In my lifetime. It's not that long ago since it was legal, if you know what I mean, that you didn't get put in prison. It's, not that long ago when you think about it. I don't know how many years it is, perhaps Nathan might know, but it's not that many years ago since it was illegal, against the law, slapped in prison just for being what you are. Yeah. Everything had to be hush-hush undercover and, you daren't say anything out, At least now you can openly speak out and say what you are, if you are. I mean, I'm heterosexual, but that's not my problem. 1967 was it? See what I mean? It's not that long ago, Nathan, is it? I mean, but I'm not afraid. If I was gay, I would not be afraid to actually say it these days. Whereas when I was growing up, I would have been afraid. Yeah, you see, I've got 27 more years on you as well. I mean, I would have been afraid to have said I was gay if I was gay when I was growing up. I mean, at least, as I say, it's never been a problem with me, so I can't speak for myself personally. But it must have been difficult for anybody who was in my age group to have been gay. It must have been very, very difficult because it seems unthinkable, really, to me. That it was like that. You just can't imagine it, can you? You just can't think that they were so Victorian, so Dickensian, really, in their attitudes, that they thought these things were illegal. You could get stuck in jail with all the criminals who'd murdered people. You got stuck in jail. Weird. Now, as for paedophiles, I wish they'd stick them in jail and lose the key, but that's another thing, isn't it? Yeah. But I don't have a problem with any of that, Nathan. You know I don't. I never have had. You know, it's not my personal experience, as you know. I can only speak how I would feel, yeah, and how I think. You know, to me, it makes no difference to me what creed, race, religion, colour, sexual orientation anybody is. It makes no difference to me. I would like to think that I judge people by who they are. Yes, there are some people I don't like, but it's not because of that reason. I just don't like them because they're horrible people. You know, I just don't say, oh, I don't like them because they are A, B, C, D. There are lots of people in this world I don't like, can't stand, but it's nothing to do with what they are. It's just I can't stand them because they're horrible people. You know, they're not nice. We've all met them, haven't we? We've all got them in our periphery. We've all got horrible people that you think, oh, God, why do they exist? You know, they're nasty, they're bigoted, they're horrible, you know. Yeah. Oh, God, that is bigoted. I would like to think that most parents are a little bit more clued up these days, Denise. Yeah, I would like to think that. I mean, I've not had to face it, but if my son had told me he was gay, he would have still have been my son, if you know what I mean. I would never have disowned him. You know, if he'd have come to me when he was young and told me. You know, it would. No, no. I mean, like I say, I've never had to face it in my. So, oh, of course you're welcome in here. Everybody's welcome in here, so what's little? We're not judgmental, as you probably noticed. We are not judgmental in here. We are an open all hours. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I've got cousins who are gay. That doesn't worry me. I got an invite to the wedding. I didn't go purely because I had to go somewhere else. It wasn't I didn't go because I didn't go, if you know what I mean. I just didn't go because I had to have, I wasn't there at the time, if you're with me. But I would have gone to their wedding with pleasure. I would have gone to their wedding, yeah. Yeah, no, it doesn't bother me at all. My little Gigi's parents were gay. It doesn't bother me at all, yeah. Um, yeah, not a problem, not a problem. So what's little? You are welcome, all is welcome in here. We don't harbour anything. We don't. You can be religious. You can be whatever. You can be any colour of the rainbow. You can be. You can be a rainbow girl or boy. We don't care, do we? Everybody in here is friendly. I don't think there's anybody in here would ever say anything nasty about any of us. We try to make this little Saturday gathering as friendly as we possibly can. The only people we've had to boot out of here are people who are being stupid. You know, the trolls and stuff like that, with the obscene language and stuff like that. That's the only people we've ever had to boot out of here. And I think anybody would have booted them out because they're just usually kids making obscene suggestions and, you know. But apart from that, everybody's welcome. We don't have that kind of channel. It's a party night here, so we keep calling her so because we don't know her name, do we? But as long as you don't mind, we call you so. Oh dear. You are welcome anytime you want. Yeah. We get occasional trolls, don't we, Denise? We do, don't we? We don't really get nasty. Well, we do get trolls, but apart from trolls, we don't really get nasty comments in here, do we? I can't remember anybody coming in with nasty comments. No. We just We just don't. It's just Saturday night chat, isn't it? That's all it is. But having said that, it is now time for me to go. So, yeah, we leave happy. We leave here happy, sunshiny. Oh, you dozed off, did you, Susan? How dare you? Of course, I don't mean that. You're allowed to doze off if you feel like it, love. So, good night, one and all, and thank you very much for your company as usual. I've enjoyed myself, and I hope to see you all next week. Yeah, we're a happy little band of friends, aren't we? That's how I like to think of us here. I always like to think of Saturday night not being my channel. Saturday night is our channel. Yeah. It's for everybody. It's all of us. Yeah. And Amanda, Jane, will you send me another message because I lost the first one? Yeah. Okay. So I'll say good night to you all, and I will see you Monday, hopefully. Oh, Yvette, yeah. You're usually lurking. I'm glad you find it comfortable. Yeah. I hope everybody's comfortable in here. I would hate anybody to feel uncomfy. I really would, yeah. So I'll probably do a video Monday if I get that new scooter. Keep your fingers crossed, people, that it's fine. And I like it and it doesn't squeak. So I shall see you all next week. So bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.